at home for the holiday.
You're wondering what to do with them.
Yes. Have you thought about coding, IT skills, the skills of not just the future, but of now, you know? We'll be having a little conversation on this show about toothbrushes, about coding, and what next?
You definitely don't want to miss our sit down with Koko Anyidoho. We have so many comments from you already on our Facebook and other platforms. We will try to get all the answers to your most pressing questions from the man who has been in the center of this controversy with the party that gave him a secretary general position.
Yeah, deputy general secretary. Yeah.
So
deputy.
we will speak to Koko Anyidoho later on in the program, so you don't want to miss any of it. Of course, we will take you around town to see what's out there in traffic. We'll take you everywhere this morning, and we'll also take you to the world of arts and showbiz.
And on the side today, we'll be speaking about arts in the creative sector. We're going to talk about how people should appreciate art. In the past, we've seen that, well, we do not appreciate art. You see a painting and then you just pass by. But this time, we're going to look at art and how people, the young creators, are turning it into a money-making machine. This is what we're talking on here. We'll also be talking social media trends later on in the show. So I'm passing it over to you guys.
Okay, the ladies are looking nice and flowery. I hope you are yawning and stretching. Yeah.
And
nice
grabbing your toothbrush.
Grabbing your toothbrush, okay? Because this is GTV Breakfast, brought to you by Petporo, Awake Purified Drinking Water, Shield Acrylic Paint, and of course, Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. We are live right now on Facebook. Look for facebook.com/GBC Ghana. On TSTV is channel 278. On GoTV is channel 171. And hashtag is GTV Breakfast. Still to come, we've got our weather, we've got our trends, we've got the conversation on... We've got coding, we've got Koko Anyidoho, we've got live painting. But now, we're going to look at those things that steal your time. Wisdom nugget from Dr. Kofi Osei Kusi. Stay with us.
It's a good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I trust you're having a fabulous morning and you're ready for your day. And guess what? My job this morning is to give you some nuggets of wisdom to help spice up your day. And guess what? Today, I'm here to remind you again that a nugget a day keeps the problems away. And today, I want to speak about the need to fight the time thieves in your life. The time thieves in your life. The greatest currency on earth is not the dollar or the CD or the naira or the euro. The greatest currency on earth is time. Time is the greatest currency that we have. Time is the currency that we use to exchange for nearly every single thing we want. Nearly every good thing we want. Time is the currency that we're given to get that thing that we want. And guess what? When it comes to time, all of us are millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires and whatever you want to call it. Every single person has 24 hours in a day. And when we maximize the use of that, we can achieve and we can buy all the things that we want. When you take the currency of time to exchange with skills and with education, guess what? You get an improved skill. So you give your time, you give it to a school, you give your time, you give it to a training, you give your time, you give it to some learning, and you get back some improved skills. When you take the gift of time and you invest it into a relationship, guess what? You build that relationship. Time is the currency that we have. When you take your time and give it to an employer, guess what? You earn a salary. And when you make the best of that time, you're going to go up and up. But there's something that destroys our lives. They are the thieves of time. And I want to touch on a few thieves of time so that your life can be smooth and your life can accelerate and achieve phenomenal things. Number one of the things that steals our time is forgetfulness. And especially when we begin to grow, and as we grow in life, we tend to forget many things. Why? Because I believe, and some scientists believe, that our brains were not given to us to store information. Our brains were not just given to us for memory. The true value of our brain is for imagination. Our brains were given to us to imagine and to create the future that we want to see and to create a future or the best of future for others. So you need to find ways of recording information so you don't just forget things. I don't like to have meetings with people that, report to me, and they come to those meetings and have nothing to write. If you're a serious person, everywhere you go, you must have a paper and you must have a pen. You must have something to write so you don't forget. And actually, you can also invent other ways of remembering things. Let me tell you a quick story. So I have a very interesting Japanese friend. And one day I was driving with her in the car, and we were having a little discussion about something, but it was an important discussion. So when we got to a point of the discussion, she suddenly took a ring. She had a ring on her hand. She took the ring from one of the fingers and put the ring here. I was observing her. I'm like, hey, Yuki, why did you do that? Why did you put the ring here? And said, you know what? I want to remember what you said at this point because I need to do something about it. And so once I've moved the ring here, when I get home, I'll probably wonder, how did the ring get here? And I'll go like, oh, it was because, Kofi said this and I need to do something about it. And that's my way of remembering things. I learned something important that day. And I learned to do things to help me remember things. So there are places I am, and, there is an important discussion, or I have an important thought that I don't want to forget because I don't want time to steal that powerful idea. And so guess what? Sometimes I don't have anything on my hand. Maybe there is a little object somewhere. I pick the object and I put the object in my pocket. So later on, maybe I'll be somewhere, I'll be back home, or I'll be in my office, and I remember, oh, how did this thing get to my pocket? And I remember, oh, it was because of that, and I need to remember that. So find different ways of remembering things, because forgetfulness is a thief of time. Another big thief of time is not keeping a diary. Most professionals don't keep a diary. When they get a diary at the beginning of the year, they think it's for decoration, or the right stories in it, or stuff like that. You need to learn the art and the science of keeping a diary, taking a diary every day, recording your goals and objectives for the day. And at the close of the day, you go through all of them and cancel out the ones you've achieved and move forward the ones you have not yet achieved. Learn to keep a diary. You can never be able to manage a lot of things without keeping a diary. And I meet people who say, oh, I keep my diary on my phone. I don't know how that works, but hey, nothing will ever beat a physical, hardcore, written diary. Keep a diary, record your activities, and plan your day. If you're going to catch another thief of time, this one you should go for. You should go for the lack of priorities. A lot of people have no priorities in their life. Anything comes and anything goes. Can you learn to set priorities for the year? Can you learn to set priorities for your month, priorities for your day, priorities for your family, priorities for your business, and record those priorities? It's so important that you set important priorities, because once you have priorities, you're going to be able to eliminate the unimportant things in your life. Another mega time thief in your life, social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, all of those things. It's stealing the time from marriages. It's stealing the time from relationships. It's stealing the time of people in their workplace. Their bosses pay them to work, and they go sitting there doing Facebook. They go sitting there doing Instagram. They go sitting there doing all kinds of things. The thieves of time. And guess what? When this thief steals your time, it's not just stealing your time, it is stealing your currency, and it is stealing your very life. Please regulate your relationship with social media. Have a time slot when you actually check your social media portals, whatever they may be. Regulate yourself. Otherwise, you will live all your life finding that you invested most of your life just on social media, and what did you achieve? Lastly, if you're going to catch the thief of time, you should avoid procrastination. Procrastination is very clear. It says procrastination is what? The thief of time. And what is time? Time is the greatest currency that you have. From today, as you seek to succeed in life, remember that you are so wealthy. You have the currency of time. You have the same amount of time that the greatest people on earth do have. The most powerful people on earth do have. They all have 24 hours. So learn to trade the currency of time with the priorities of your life and with the important things that you need to spend time on. And you know what? You're going to keep shining. You're going to keep getting better. I believe in you. And I know that as you manage your time so well, in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years' time, you're going to achieve all your goals in life. Have yourself a fabulous day. Enjoy your day. Make the best of your time and catch every one of the thieves that are stealing your time. And you will realize how wealthy you are and how much progress is coming into your life. I wish you very well and see you again soon.
So I hope now you know what your time thieves are. I think mine is my phone. It takes all my time. So I need to manage how often I but to be fair, there's a lot of research to do when you're on a morning show. So in my defense, that's what I usually spend my time doing.
Me, today I forgot my cufflinks. So I drove and went back. I've forgotten my belt before, cufflinks.
And used your son's
One
belt.
day I even took 2 different black shoes. I got to the office and I thought that one was different style from the other, and I just wore them with confidence. As long as I didn't alert anybody to the fact that my shoes were different. So I'm always my phone.
I'm sure
my
people
phone,
notice, but
my
they were
phone
so polite.
every day. Every day my phone.
What's your time?
Yeah.
Movies.
Oh, okay.
That's most of it accounts for the eye bags underneath my eyes most of the time.
What kind of movies?
Like action-packed movies.
Hey, you like butcha butcha?
Of course.
Yeah, Marvel.
Hell yes, yes. And so movies, yes, it takes up most of it. Like when we get home, it's pretty late. I usually have to catch up on an episode or 2 or finish a movie I didn't finish.
I'm definitely one of those people who say, oh, one more episode, and then an hour passes. Oh,
and then you realize it's 4 a.m. and you're
It's 4 in
like,
the
oh
morning.
my God.
Okay.
And the car is outside waiting for you. Like, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. So we'll just look at what the weather has been like. Rains in parts of the capital, Accra, that we've seen, and showers of blessings, as we've called it earlier on in this program. So let's see what that means for the temperatures for today. So that's your weather update for the day. We'll get straight into social media trends. It's the blues and the yellows. So blue and yellow. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Guys,
Yeah.
Chelsea brought Belfast Windsor Park alive last night when they won against Villarreal.
First time they've won that trophy, right?
Why do you say
You
that?
haven't won it before.
Why do you say that? Your biases are showing.
No, I'm just stating
like
a fact.
our biases were showing yesterday.
I'm stating a fact. This is the first time they've won this trophy.
Well, I didn't even know they were playing until they played. And this morning
Wait till Chelsea go concern Man U woman.
I know.
Your cameraman will not be happy with you. Your cameraman. Lots of Chelsea fans in the studio with us right now. Look at the pictures of their Super Cup win. Definitely very exciting to see.
You can feel the euphoria.
Yep.
Like
Especially when it had to
it.
go into penalty shootouts.
Yep.
So the manager's bet paid off, and the trust they put in Kepa, £71 million to sign him, paid off.
He came on and he made a couple of saves.
Yes.
Yeah, he did well.
And he came on pretty last minute as well.
About 2 or 3 minutes left.
So then when he went into penalties, he proved that the manager's trust in him was not misplaced.
Awesome.
You're in the trends.
Are you happy?
You're in the trends,
Oh,
yes.
am I
You
in
just
the
want
trend?
to change the subject to something else, don't you?
No, we are talking.
What, did I score
Because
a
it's
goal
not
in the
Manchester
Super
United.
Cup?
You know the gear was also trending. I mean, because you are United people, let me just throw you this lifeline. Because
Thank
now we
you.
are comparing Kepa and the gear.
Okay.
And people are saying that Kepa is better than your goalie.
Oh.
They can
We'll
say what
see
they
that.
want.
They can say
We
what
know
they
the
still
facts.
Manchester
Yeah,
United.
facts are sacred.
So, but can you appreciate the fact that this young man just changed the game entirely for Chelsea? He basically won it.
Oh,
for
we're
Chelsea.
back to Chelsea.
Yes.
Okay,
I don't even know why she's going to
Okay,
that,
Chelsea.
When it's
Can we
Barca,
talk
I'll
about
to you. You know
Cafu?
me and my fairness.
Can we talk about Cafu? I
Why?
mean, Cafu, you should look for an alternative career. I think we found it.
in
Yesterday he was trending.
football.
Chuckling the ball.
Oh, the small tutas. We call it tutas.
It's
not,
Totas.
it's not
The
just-
Totas video we uploaded on Ghana Broadcast. So if you're not following GBC's Facebook page, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, definitely follow it. We uploaded a tiny little video about 8 seconds. It has at the last time I checked, 4.8k views.
And that's Kafui.
And that's Kafui just juggling a ball.
And I was reading the comments and someone said, Charlie, the guy, they suffer. See the way they pant. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And someone said Black Stars has like a midfielder or something.
Another comment was that.
You get fans.
This is Sika Kuno is monitoring what?
He needs players for the national team.
If you total they take win African Cup.
It's not bad.
Honestly speaking, we haven't won the African Cup in years.
Have we won it in my lifetime? I don't think so.
Were you born in 82?
Okay, no. So listen, guys.
So we haven't won it in my lifetime.
Listen, guys, whenever people are making arguments and going back and forth about how we do not, Black Stars, we don't win anything in media, have we thought about the investment we put in football?
Yeah.
I don't think the way we rant about how they are not performing, we do not invest that much in it.
Some people will say we invest too much.
We do invest a lot
some people
more
will say we
into
invest too
football
much
than in other sports. And the other sports always complain that football always seems to take the shine. I mean, look at the number of Ghanaian fans
yes,
who support, for example, Chelsea. We've just talked about them this morning. The passion that follows football is not the same when it comes to other sports.
Okay, well, yes, okay. So draws my question again. What's happening to the other sporting, the disciplines? What's happening to those ones?
They are not getting money.
But yet, look, Olympics,
money.
Everybody was bashing them, oh, Ghana and this and Ghana and this and this.
A lot of them qualified from their own pockets.
Yes, what are we putting
and they
into
attend these regional qualifiers, these sub-regional qualifiers, and they do all this on their own.
Yeah, so
the kind of investments that goes into, look, the English Premier League, Ireland, the Belfast, Windsor Park, it's just recently been redeveloped. And so for a long time, it wasn't in the shape that we saw it in for Chelsea and Villarreal yesterday. But it was redeveloped. A lot of money was pumped in there to make sure that when you sit at home and you get that viewing experience, it gives you some joy. And that's why leagues like the English Premier League are so popular, because the investment in different parts of the game, not just in the players, not just about go to the African Cup, go to the World Cup and score a goal and get 30 million and kiss the money, and then, you know, the plane is flying to Brazil to take cash. It's about investment in specific aspects of the game. So if we want to bring the game alive, are we investing in cameras? Are we investing in the stadia? Are we investing in even the people who, you know, operate the matches, the referees and everything?
Minister.
I mean,
T for Sports Minister.
One of my favorite channels is
T for Sports.
One of my favorite channels, GTV Sports Plus, and I think I'll mention it here always. That if we want to see beautiful games on our screens, if we want to see beautiful races, beautiful sprints, we need to make the necessary investments. Don't just wait for someone to go and win and say, oh, he could have won gold. May you didn't qualify. You'd probably faint if someone punched you.
I mean, when we were disqualified for the wrong in the relay, when we were disqualified, people were going on and on and on and on about it. But 3 out of those 4 who were there, they were from the Ghana's fastest human, from GMPC. And it's somebody's private investment in them.
That took them to the Olympics.
Exactly, and you're shouting and then you're not even appreciating that they did it out of their own like pockets and stuff. I think we should invest in it and stop being negative all the time.
I agree. Let's invest in that. I mean, there were sports in the Olympics where rock climbing, skateboarding, we could have gotten stuff, biking, shooting.
There will be an interesting conversation on Talking Point on GBC News and GTV on Sunday concerning sports and the kind of investment that needs to go into sports. We can't sit here and support all these European leagues when nobody knows us. We may be Cadbury members. I'm a Cadbury member. So we may be Cadbury members, but here is our own. This is ours.
Let's support it.
And we need to feed it. We need to feed the sports so that they bring us the laurels that we need.
T for Sports. Charlie, our trends are out, but that will come back later on live painting. And then T sits down with Mr. Koku Anyidohu, is the former Deputy General Secretary of the NDC and the founder of the Atta Mills Institute. They'll talk about a whole range of issues. Hashtag GTV Breakfast, you want to be following that. Headlines will be coming up in a short while. But before that, we have a conversation also on coding, what you want your children to do during the vacation, and something on toothbrushing. So I wrote this poem for my kids to encourage them to brush their teeth. Let me air it for you. Are you ready? Okay. I am your friendly toothbrush. Surprised to hear me speak. I work for you 2 times a day. That's 14 times a week. You grab me in the morning, you put stuff on my head, and pop me quickly in your mouth without even a word. It's up and down and side to side. You spin me all around. To clean your teeth and gums must be the hardest job in town. But no, it isn't over yet. I can't forget your tongue. And here I am believing that my job is truly done. To think that I'm on double duty all throughout the week, sometimes I feel like I should strike and stop acting so meek. To tell the truth, I do not mind. I know this job's for me, but all I want is just some R-E-S-P-E-C-T. A good rinse every time you brush would frankly be the best. And when I'm old, please lay me down. I would have earned my rest. Till then, I am your friendly toothbrush. Shocked to hear me speak? I work for you 2 times a day, 14 times a week. There's a toothbrush conversation coming up after this. Don't go away. Hashtag GTV Breakfast live on Facebook, on GoTV. We'll be right back.
This is the Breakfast Show.
I think when we had to say the way she some I say.
Show no smacks me. But because show man and kata won hene me.
How the world has changed. Like COVID, yes.
Chumwa when person pani me you now.
Chumwa is not nice. She's not a nice person. Wherever she goes, trouble, negativity follows.
That women are mean cool. Just say near dear. A bit boy, I may have come to COVID-19. Watermelon, pineapple, orange. Yeah. Titi pa na ekoso wo fia.
Okuma no de na be fia no oye tin wo hodo. Onu e no ode entertain be fia.
This is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot.
And we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
What's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
Sports.
what are showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you. With the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Are you ready? It's heat hot.
Need daily attention and care, and toothbrushing should be a daily routine and the most common method of maintaining oral hygiene that aids to promote and prevent dental disease. So it promotes better dental health and prevents dental disease. But how many times do you brush your teeth? Maybe like some of us, you do in the morning but not at night. Bad brushing habits. This is where you need to be. Let's have that conversation with me to delve into that issue. You may think that, oh, this is very basic, but you have no idea how important it is. And here is a professional who has studied it, and she knows it, and she understands exactly what you're doing wrong and how you can make it better. Thank you so much for joining me, Dr. Noveshi Akutu. You are an orthodontic consultant from Platinum Orthodontic and Advanced Dental Services, and it's one of the best internationally recognized facilities in the country. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us again.
So, toothbrushing, it sounds so basic. Surely we all know how to do it, and
you know
we are not doing it wrong. Surely.
That is the thing. It is so basic, and it's the one thing that we know that if you do it and you do it right, it's going to save you so many problems, so many pain, so much money. So we also just need to invest the time. But interestingly, it's also one of those things that we are never taught. Very, very few people get sat down and shown how to brush their teeth. Usually pick it up from mom and dad doing it on you.
My earliest memories of brushing my teeth was when my mom would force a sponge down my throat and try amidst a lot of tears.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's not a very pleasant beginning for a lot of people.
And also, you know, we never actually sit and show people how to brush their teeth, or very, very rarely. So I think that's a good way to actually approach this, is to start thinking about what it is that people are doing wrong. Okay? So the number one culprit is the number of times that we are brushing our teeth. So Kafri did a wonderful poem for us earlier, and we all know that it should be twice a day.
At least.
How many of us are actually doing the twice a day? We find out that almost everyone does the morning one in Ghana, but the evening one is an issue. A lot of people forget about it, and for us, from a dental health point of view, that's the one that we want you to focus on. And last thing at night, you are then going to sleep for at least 6 to 8 hours. During that time, your body is amazing and will start to restore and build the teeth back up. But the morning brush, you brush at 6. By 8 o'clock, you've had something to eat. 12 o'clock, you eat again. So you are actually reducing what we call the efficacy of especially the toothpaste. So the only thing, if you only want to take one thing away from this show this morning, let's concentrate on the evening brush. If you're going to brush once a day, we want you to be doing it at night. Because we also know that if you do it at night, you'll get into the habit of doing it in the morning for social reasons. So the major thing is the nighttime brush.
And you've mentioned toothpaste. And I'll come to that conversation a bit. Does it matter what toothpaste you use? And we talk about brushing, but how long should a session of toothbrushing even be? And I see you have some props here. Exactly how should we brush our teeth correctly?
Excellent.
Now that you're here to show us.
Okay, so we've talked about the brushing 2 or twice a day. The second thing is how long, the duration. So we're asking you to brush for 2 minutes. So there are these timers that have on them 2 minutes twice a day. And you need to time it because the average teenage boy brushes for 36 seconds. Rather than 2 minutes. Yes, and this is international.
It's about a quarter of the time.
Exactly, and you need that length of time for the toothbrush to do what it's meant to do, but also for the toothpaste to do what it's meant to do. 2 minutes is a long time. If you don't have the timer, play a song. Most songs are at least 3 minutes, okay? So then we know that you're spending the right amount of time actually doing it, okay? So frequency, we've talked about, duration, and we always 2. But the third thing that's really important is the type of toothbrush that you're using. And what I always say is that if your toothbrush is looking like this size, this shape, rather than this, look at the size difference, then we should really be thinking about what it is that we are doing. For teeth are actually so hard that what we want is a softer brush and a smaller brush to get all the way inside and around the teeth. So if you have this one Bennett, why are we saying that it is too hard, it is too strong, it is going to damage your teeth? And when we're talking about technique, we brush too hard. One of the biggest issues that we see in Ghana are when there's such hard brushing.
And you hear the sound. It's like a scrubbing brush.
Exactly. And when you've coupled that with a hard toothbrush, you are going to damage
So,
your
for
teeth.
example, what some have called the smoker's brush with very hard bristles.
Yeah.
They are not good?
They are not good for you. They're going to damage the teeth, and that's why
Even if you're a smoker?
Even if you're a smoker, and that's why we have so much sensitivity. So now the new fashion has moved to rather dealing and teaching how to prevent sensitivity to all the toothpaste and everything to actually kill the sensitivity. So one of the major things that we're saying with your toothbrush, independent, we don't want you holding it as a fist. We want you to pick it up like a pen. Okay? Because when you pick it up like a pen, you just cannot put as much force as when you grab it like this with the fist action. Right. So the third thing we're saying is that think about the type of toothbrush. We're looking at size, we're looking at texture. We want it soft, we want it small. And we don't want you fisting, we want you holding it in a pen action. Then you brought up technique really, really well, because a lot of the time what we see is this. And for this, I think that the dentist may be to blame. Why am I saying that? When we are teaching people how to brush their teeth, it's usually children. So you have your 7 or 8-year-old in the chair, and we're teaching them how to brush their teeth. And for children, because they don't have the manual dexterity, we teach a scrubbing action, scrubbing motion, okay? So we're teaching them just to go backwards and forwards. But by the time you're 12, 13, we don't want you brushing backwards and forwards. You now have too much force. What we need you doing is small, round, not backwards and forwards, small, round motions around the teeth. The other important thing, so not backwards and forwards, we're now going round around the teeth. The other really, really important thing is that people, when you're brushing, when you watch people brush, they do a bit here, then they do here, then they do the top, and it's totally random. And if you brush randomly, you'll always end up missing exactly the same areas of your mouth. So we're saying for the 2 minutes, concentrate. Do it in a set pattern. Start from one corner of your mouth, one tooth at a time. Go all of the way around. Now, we have to remember that we're doing what people are not doing right, okay? So we've talked quite a bit about the technique. We want you pen grip, not fist. You brushing one tooth at a time, and you brushing in an order. The most common problem we also see is that everyone only wants to brush the tops of their teeth. This is the favorite position. And you need to remember that your tooth has a part that goes towards the cheek, it has the top part, and it has the part on the inside. So if you just keep brushing the tops of your teeth, you are missing all the ones close to the side. So you have to get into the habit of thinking that you're brushing 3 areas of the teeth. Most important bit, close to the gum, small round movements all of the way around. Then you're going to do the top of the teeth, and then you're going to do the inside. Okay? So those are some of the things that we want to pick up. Yeah?
And you have different types of toothbrushes lined up in front of you. Apart from telling us that the bigger the toothbrush, the worse it is, and then the harder the bristles, the worse it is. The toothbrushing has evolved from the times of chewing sponges, and now we have electronic toothbrushes.
Exactly, but the sponges are actually really, really good, okay? And they do such a wonderful job. And part of the reason they do such a wonderful job is that most people chewing the sponge are not even doing 2 minutes. They can do half an hour.
Yep.
And that's really, really good because it's stimulating a lot of saliva. And saliva is almost like a water jet. And it's going to just be going around the teeth with all the calcium building up the teeth. So the sponges are really, really good. These are also really, really good. And honestly, these are now all over Amazon being sold for ridiculous amounts. Yes, exactly. The only thing that I would add to the sponge and this is that towards the end of this brushing with these, consider just putting a tiny bit of toothpaste onto them, because toothpaste has all the goodies in terms of the fluorides and the phosphates, etc. And if you just brushing with these, you do tend to miss out.
So, Dr. Akuzu, look at this video of this man just brushing.
Look at the force.
Scrubbing his teeth.
Scrubbing. His action. The toothpaste is flying everywhere.
There's a war against tooth decay.
Thank you. Yeah. And we are not having a war, okay? Because you're doing this twice a day. Yep. You are now going to caress the teeth more than you're going to spank them. So the toothpaste that we use are actually quite important. But again, when we're talking about what people are doing wrong, too much toothpaste. Too much. The amount of toothpaste that you're meant to use is approximately this amount.
So that's like a nail size.
It is literally a tiny, what we call pea size. And what we usually get is all of the
because we want to feel the foam in our mouth, like the man was. You see it dripping on it. You want to have all that in there to feel that it's actually clean.
No, we don't need that much. And actually, for children, it's important. And this is why you have children's toothpaste. This is the right amount. If you use too much toothpaste, especially in children, they can ingest it because they are just not that good at spitting out, and they can end up having a few tummy upsets, etc. So less is more in this case. And remember, if you're doing it for the 2 minutes, it's going to get around the teeth.
Because you've mentioned children, let me just throw this in there. How do we get children to even like to brush their teeth? Does it constantly have to be a war with threats of bodily harm if they refuse to have their teeth brushed?
It's great because at dental school you are taught all of these things, and then when you become a parent or you have nieces and nephews, you see them literally being strapped to the bed and the toothbrush going in. So I think that there are definitely ways. Once they start to show an interest, allow them to do the brushing. As long as they're keeping it in their mouth, they are doing an okay job. And all that you need to do at some stages to allow them to do the brushing, stand behind them. So a lot of the time we see parents approaching kids from the front. If they're doing the brushing, go behind them. Let them continue, but gently support their hand. And provided you can even do a 20-second brush with them, it's usually enough, okay? Nature is quite kind.
But then how do we get to the tongue? Because the tongue cleanliness is also really, really key. And it's also, I've read, key in keeping your mouth free of odor. So if you're not cleaning your tongue, you're probably going to have
so that is true. However, with children, nature is kind. So a lot of these things become more important as you grow up. And also, if you think about it, children do not usually eat the same level of spiciness and heat, and they don't have alcohol, which can dry the mouth out, etc. So I think especially with children, we want them to start enjoying, or rather not dreading, the actual toothbrushing procedure. So it's fine not to brush their tongue until they will allow you to do so, okay? But the other thing that works really well for children are the electric toothbrushes, okay?
Evolution.
Yes, evolution. So everything has moved along. And once you become technologically savvy, it's very difficult to go back. What I will say about the electric toothbrushes for children is that if it's battery operated, get into the habit of changing the battery every 10 days. Because the studies have shown that a lot of the time the battery's been there for too long and there isn't enough power to actually do a good job. But for adults, the minute you pick up an electric toothbrush, your cleaning is improving by a factor of 7. Because these are going to rotate, and they are rotating about 2,500 times a minute. Your hands can never move that quickly, okay? They are also really, really good, provided that they are ones that you have to charge, just like you charge your phone. But for me in Ghana, the major thing about electric toothbrushes is that we wanted to have a pressure indicator. So can we all see this going red? Because unfortunately, locally, we like to press. So if you're using an electric toothbrush and you put in too much pressure, you're actually going to damage your teeth more. So we like the ones with the pressure indicator that are going to indicate to you when you are pressing too hard. And with technology, we've now gone mad.
But we have people who use electric toothbrushes and still do the hand motion.
So that's really, really counterintuitive, because the electric toothbrush is there to do all the work for you. So all you are doing is you are placing, okay? You don't go backwards and forwards if you're using an electric toothbrush. The idea is to position half on the gum, half on the tooth, and just move along. The brush is there to do the work for you. But because of this, and obviously technology is technology, there are now electric toothbrushes that will alert you when you're doing it incorrectly. They'll even sync to your phone and set a reminder.
And tell you, Thelma, you did not brush your teeth well today.
You didn't do it well. If you put too much pressure, it will have a sad face.
So toothbrushes can speak now.
Yes,
toothbrushes
so the toothbrushes can actually literally speak. But before we move on, the major concern, you can have people who are brushing their teeth beautifully. The area that we are missing is in between the teeth, okay? So this one, whether we like it or not, Americans are amazing at flossing, okay? Americans floss, they brush in between their teeth. Because if you've done everything that I've told you, but you haven't cleaned in between your teeth, you have still left 18 to 20% of your teeth unclean.
So flossing, for those who don't know, that is when you use the floss. It's like a piece of thread.
Exactly.
And then you put that in between your teeth. The doc is going to demonstrate that.
Exactly. So what you're basically doing with floss is that it's helping you to clean actually in between the teeth. And you're meant to thread it and then go all of the way down and up. It's quite tricky, because if you just go up and down, then people say, oh, my gums bleed when I do it. And that's a technique thing. You're meant to go in, make it into a C shape, and then bring it up so that it's actually cleaning around the teeth.
The side of the teeth.
Yeah, but people find this really, really difficult. So there are now much easier ways. One of the easier ways are what look like bottle brushes. So these actually look like you're going to clean a child's bottle brush. But what these now do is that these go in between the teeth. And so also because they have the bristles, they're actually brushing all of the way in, okay? Some people still find this tricky. Now, I want to just show the different sizes of this, okay? And the reason why I'm focusing on the different sizes is that your dentist or the hygienist needs to help you size it. Because if you're using the wrong size, you are not going to be doing an effective job. They can be too small, they can be too big. So your dentist or your hygienist will help you with that. However, the new kid on the block, which I am loving, only it's not that new, are water picks. Okay? So I'm going to try and demonstrate. There'll be a little bit of water. Okay. And what this is now doing is that it's jetting water. Okay? It's actually jetting water, and it jets the water in between the teeth. So all you're doing is literally positioning it in between the teeth, and then it's just spurting water at really, really high volume. And that is amazing. You've brushed your teeth, you've flossed, you go around with your water pick or your water flosser, and you
go around with that?
Yeah, well, no, as in you go around your mouth with it, yeah? And
I'm thinking you're going to work with that in your bag.
No,
your boss will not like that.
No. You're still going to feel so much coming out, and, you know, it just gives your mouth that really, really freshness around it. So things have really, really improved. But when we go back to the children, there are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing. So the first one that we really promote are toothbrush charts. Okay, so they have like stickers, so you can give them rewards, and every time they brush they actually go and tick, and this really, really motivates them. So from the day you give a child one of these, they're going to increase their brushing by at least 40 to 50% of the time, provided the parents check it. So if you give it and you never check it, it loses its effect. If you are checking it, they really, really tend to love it. And all it is just the days of the week, morning, evening, and they just tick in when they've done it. Okay? And the other really, really crucial thing is to give the parents a little bit of power. These are what we call disclosing tablets. Okay? All they are
I don't think I've seen any of that before.
So all it is a very, very posh food dye. So your teenage or your preteen has said that they've brushed their teeth, they don't really, and you just give them one of these and they chew through it, and then you look in their mouth, and if there's been food that's been left in their mouth for up to 3 days, it will show a pink.
Bastard.
And if it's been there for greater than 5 days, it's going to show a purple. But other than the fact that you get to catch them out, it's a really good teaching aid because they can now see the areas that they are missing and that require more of their attention. And the minute they go around and they brush, it will actually brush off.
How much do these cost?
So these are disclosing tablets. I'm bad at prices. I want to say around 15 Ghana cedis. And for that, you get 20 pieces. And you can even just use half. So that's like probably 3 months worth because you're not going to check every day. We encourage them to check 2 to 3 times a week. So this pack, for example, is going to last you three months. And it's just going to be reinforcing everything we've said with regards to the cleaning.
And why is Dinosaur sitting beside you?
Because we like Dinosaur, because this is how we teach the kids how to brush their teeth. So when they come to see us...
Dinosaur's brush is way too big.
The dinosaur brush is way too big. But one of the really, really interesting things is to watch the kids brush, okay? So we usually introduce them to the dental environment with a dinosaur, and we get them with a little dental mirror to count how many teeth the dinosaur has, and then we get them to follow the dinosaur into the surgery. They sit with the dinosaur, and then we say to them, so we are now going to count how many teeth you have. Because the thing about the dental environment is that it can be a little bit intimidating. So we like to get them in young for what we call play therapy to help them with that. But back to the toothbrushing, it's really, really powerful. And when we're talking about them struggling to allow you to brush their teeth, this is great because they get to brush the dinosaur's teeth. And then we can encourage them and say, now brush on the inside. Now let's see. And as we are looking at them doing it, we then transition and say, so now you are the dinosaur. You brush. Now let mommy or let nanny see whether you are brushing in all of the right areas. So we love Mr. Dinosaur. And he's also just really, really friendly. And he goes everywhere with us.
He has a huge smile.
Yes.
Obviously because he has such good teeth.
Amazing teeth.
Doc, as we wrap up, toothpaste, we've talked about it. Should we be looking out for anything in particular? Now we have charcoal toothpaste, now we have all kinds. Are there ones that we should definitely avoid and others that we should certainly embrace?
Okay, so with the toothpaste, the Ghana Dental Association actually does a great job in verifying some of these toothpastes. And those that have been verified by the Ghana Dental Association will have their logo on it. So provided you pick up a toothpaste and it's got the Ghana Dental Association logo on it, you know that that's fine. Great. Okay? But the major thing for the lot of the toothpaste is fluoride, 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 fluoride. So when you're doing herbal toothpaste, etc., they're okay, but then they're not giving you that fluoride that you need for your teeth. So you just need to be a little bit conscious about that. We like fluoride. It helps fight the actual bacteria. But we want you to enjoy your brushing experience. So go for something that you like the taste of. We don't want you literally closing your eyes and it tastes bitter. Go for something that you like the taste of, you like the appearance of, and that has fluoride in it.
Thank you so much, Doc. I think we definitely need to have you back here so that you tell us a bit more about how we can improve our dental and oral health. We appreciate your coming on board. I'm sure all the parents are so happy with this particular segment, because now you know how to brush a little one's teeth effectively. Now you know how to brush your own teeth effectively. And throughout that old toothbrush, you need to change it every 3 months. Maybe I need to put that in there. Thank you, Dr. Novishi Akutu. She is with the Platinum Orthodontic and Advanced Dental Services, and they are one of the best internationally recognized dental practices in the world, located at East Airport Hills in Ghana. Thanks, Doc, for coming. Still to come on this time, on this breakfast show, we are keeping an eye on what's happening on the motorway. We understand there is an accident there. Will not be good for traffic. My colleague Jay Gabra is there now. Jay, wow, we can see that's a huge truck, and they are attempting to tow it, from what we can see from these pictures.
Yes. So good morning and welcome to Rush Hour. So this morning we are at the Coca-Cola section of the roundabout or the motorway, and as you can see, there has been an incident. So this truck over here overturned somewhere at dawn this morning, and when we got here, we saw this truck, the tow truck, lifted it off the motorway. So at this moment, there's huge traffic for all those who are heading towards Tema. So the advice is for commuters who can use alternative routes to get to their destination. If you're not already on the motorway, that will be fine. So when this truck overturned, there was some oil spill from the truck, and that's what the guy is trying to cover right now. So motorists should be careful, because when it mixes with the rain, something dire may occur. So these are the scenes which are occurring right now on the motorway. So if you can find some alternative route, that will be very, very helpful for you. But if you're already here, then unfortunately, I'm afraid you will be stuck for a little bit because of this incident right here.
Jay, have you heard from any emergency responders, like maybe the fire service, who ideally would be involved in moving obstructions off a motorway?
Yes. So from the moment we got here, we noticed the police are on their toes. They are here coordinating traffic, directing, so that as much as possible, traffic will move as smoothly as possible because of this standstill right here. And then the emergency service, I believe they have responded. There's an ambulance behind me, just in the traffic. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Yes. So for now, everybody is up and about, and then they are making sure they move this truck as quickly as possible so that motorists can be on their way.
So when you talk about alternative routes, for those who may not know, this is the Tema motorway. You're talking about using maybe the beach road, or possibly go through
yes, or if they can use Spintex. If they can possibly use the Spintex road, that may mean they may have to go all the way through the Mall and use the Spintex side. There's a motorway connection when you want to enter Spintex, so to bring you out at Palace, and then use the Flowerport Junction and use the the Spintex road all the way to the beach road. Yes, it may seem a little long, but I believe it will be preferable to being in this standstill right here, this gridlock. Yes.
Right. Thank you, Jay. We'll look forward to hearing further details, if indeed there are, from that live report. So keep an eye. We are at Tema motorway. That truck has broken down, causing extensive traffic on that stretch. My colleague Jay Gabra telling us, if you haven't set off towards that side already, use an alternative route, or expect major delays and major disruptions to your travel this morning. You're watching GTV Breakfast, and there's still so much more to come. We have that conversation on coding and what do you intend to do with the children this vacation. Probably a good time for them to pick up some new skills and improve their prospect for the future as well. At the same time, Valerie has that mural artist build up for later on in the show, and Koku Anyido will definitely be here to answer all your questions. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. We'll be right back.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
sports,
word of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
sports,
word of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
sports,
word of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
In the news, all right? Great one, the Gangster's Paradise. And good to have you here. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. We are live on Facebook. We are live on DSTV channel 8, 278 on GoTV channel 171. It's a conversation between T and Koku Anyido, the founder of the Atamils Institute. And of course, Val sits down with a live artist to do their own thing. But you're probably a parent and you're thinking, kids are home. What do we do with their time? They can't just be binging on TV and eating and becoming fatter and fatter. Can they learn something that can help them? I have two gentlemen in the studio who will talk to us about coding. So David Govu is Executive Director for the Institute of ICT Professionals, Ghana. David, good morning.
Good morning, Kafu.
Good to see you here.
Nice to see you.
And then Richard Kafu Yamafo is Director of Operations at the Institute of ICT Professionals, Ghana. Richard also Kaf, so another Kaf. Kaf, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thanks.
All right, good to see you guys. For somebody who doesn't really know, what is coding, David? And why should children be interested and introduced to coding?
So coding, any ordinary person to understand, is giving set of commands to the computer to perform any activity.
Okay.
Set of commands. You are let's say, get up. I'm commanding you to get up. So we also command the computer by giving it set of instructions to perform any activity. Either you want to, maybe upload a picture, or you want to send a WhatsApp message. Those are commands that we send, but there is something behind those commands, what we create that makes it possible for you to send those commands.
So the messages on my phone, coding makes things possible?
Coding makes it possible.
Okay.
Your WhatsApp messages, oh, there's a new video, trendy video, you upload, or you share with your friend. Somebody, what we call, had written some codes that helps you to be able to send those pictures and they get to the other person.
Sounds pretty technical. Why should children be introduced to coding?
So now we are in the information age. We are in the what we call social media, technology age, and everything is moving digital. COVID-19 has actually accelerated that. So 10 years from now, everybody will need coding skills to be able to get a job. Because even the doors that we use to come in here will be programmed in a way that when you get there, you don't need a security, but the door will look into your face and say, oh, you are Cafe Day. Okay, get in. But to come and say, no, David Go, you are not allowed in here.
Okay.
Because you have not been programmed to get access to this place. So for these things to happen, we need people to be able to learn how to develop them.
Kaf, I want to bring you in. So I see a whole group of children doing things, so they're learning stuff, and there's a program that you have put together for this vacation. What is this program and what are the skills that kids will be learning?
Okay, so thank you very much. It's the vacation coding program, a bit different from our regular program which runs monthly, because the kids are home now and we want to engage them to learn something different other than the traditional way of when it's vacation we pack our bags and books and go study the same thing in the classroom. There are a lot of things they're going to learn in coding, from critical thinking to patience and being persevering. Critically, for me, kids are going to learn what we call critical thinking, learning to break down complex understandings into basic, meaningful works.
Why is that important for children?
Well, it's important because if we do not help them to understand how to break complex things into basic basic principles, it will be very difficult for them when they grow up. Learning to break simple things into, learning to break complex things into bits and pieces is what forms creativity, actually. So if you're able to, for instance, think about something, but you do not know how to go about it. For instance, you may wonder how this came up, right? It's complex for somebody. But if you're taught how it was developed or designed, then you get to understand, oh, this is so cool. Now you're able to put your thoughts together, and that's creativity. Now you're able to design, put basic things together, which in the normal sense would look very complex to another person. Beyond that, then we're teaching you how to solve basic problems. If, for instance, this again has the cup tightly closed, you're wondering how you're going to loosen it up. Now, it's a process. So you start from thinking about how to design your basic thing, and then you put the thoughts together in a sequential form, like you said, through codes. So sequentially, then you get to understand, oh, so in the final point, this is how this was fitted on.
Okay.
And in solving a problem, you are actually solving somebody's need, or you are developing a need for somebody else.
Okay.
So we never had this years back. It was sachet, it was in a cup and all that. But years along the line, we had this. Somebody came up with a tight lid, and now we can actually carry it along to places.
Carry water with you.
To places, yes.
Yeah.
So basically, you can transform this idea to creating a cartoon.
And these are the skills that you will be learning if you're a child who takes part in this particular program. David, tell us, how is this kids coding program for the vacation being organized? Is it a sit down in the classroom and learn, or are you jumping online to do your thing?
Oh, no. So we are in unusual times. You know, COVID is here. The numbers are still going up. We want to avoid getting young people together or people crowding in one place. So, and we also want to get this to children all over. I mean, in Ghana, even those living in other countries, by the power of the internet. So we are going to do this via Zoom. We've been doing this for the past 1.5 years since COVID came in through Zoom. And we now have over 300 students that are learning online.
From where around the world?
We have students that are even in Africa, in Zambia, from Nigeria. If you go to Europe, we have people in UK, Switzerland, we have people from Canada. And in Ghana, we have people in Sunyani, Tamale, Ho, Bebieni. So if you have internet, a stable internet, let's say just 3G, we don't even talk about 4G, that you can do video. You can connect just in your room. And then, you know, you get your tutor will come on board, they take you through the lessons, you are able to share your screen, and at the end of the program, you're able to create something and you can present that to
what have some kids created in the past?
Kids created stories about, you know, interesting places they visited in Ghana. You can imagine a 10-year-old child creating stories about visiting Kakum National Park or visiting Bali, or maybe a story about an interesting day that they had in school and something like that.
So they build little websites based on the coding that they did?
Not even a website. They use animations, and then you know, they give these animation commands. They can even you know, write their own script and record them and play them as part of the animation. So it can be Kafui Day, talking about visiting a place, and all this will be live, and then you can...
Man, this sounds great. It's like creating your own cartoon.
Exactly. Hey, creating, so this vacation, the children are watching. What about them creating themselves?
Your own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget about Disney. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here in Ghana. Kaf, how long will this kids coding program for the vacation take place, and how much does it cost? Parents are thinking about, hey, how much money here?
Right. So the program is through this August. We had the first and second batch already started from the 2nd of August. We have 3 weeks more for the August to run, and that will be the last batch to run.
Okay. And how much is it?
It costs 200 cedis.
Okay.
For the program.
And how does we'll get to the signing. Yes. How do you sign on?
Okay. So before you sign on, it runs through the week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 12. Okay, just want to keep the kids 2 hours because the attention span would be very important. Okay. And the other question?
Yes, no, I'll get to you shortly. That was just, I wanted to know how long it takes. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 hours, 10 to 12, 10 to 12, 10 to 12.
And starting from Monday the 16th.
So just a couple of 4 days away.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So and after this, what next? David?
So we run this all year round. So after when school reopens, we do the weekend program. It's also on Saturdays, 10 to 12, just 2 hours, learn something different, and you know, you're doing this alongside your normal curriculum, academic work.
Okay, so hey, so David and Kaf are here talking about a kids coding program for the vacation. I'm sure as a parent, just about dashing out to work, you're wondering, okay, so they've told me how much it costs. How do I get in touch? How do parents get in touch with you?
Okay, so firstly, you can just call 0541 001965.
Okay, the number again?
0541 001965.
Okay.
Call, text, WhatsApp to register, or visit our website www.iipgh.org/coding.
Okay, so
also we have some incentives for those who want to just register now. I mean, from now till tomorrow.
Okay.
You know, if you just send hi to 054-100-1965, just say hi, and then we'll contact you and we'll give you 10 GB data.
Free.
Just for you to use to learn how to code.
10 gig?
Yes.
10 gig.
Free.
Okay, number again.
0541 001965.
Okay.
You can just say hi. It can be text message. It can be WhatsApp. You can even just flash the number. We'll call you back.
All right, so that's David Govu, Executive Director of the Institute of ICT Professionals, Ghana, and Richard Kafuyi Amanfu, Director of Operations of the Institute of ICT Professionals, Ghana. Find them online, iipgh.org/coding, if you want to be part of this particular program. And hey, if you want that 10 gigabytes free, you want to be saying hi on WhatsApp to 054-100-1965. Yeah, 054-100-1965. Gentlemen, I thank you so much. Enjoy your day.
Thank you for having us.
All right, and I'm just thinking about the toothbrushing exercises. Some people put so much toothpaste on their toothbrush, and it's like there's foam all over their mouth. It's like they're drinking beer. No. Small bit of toothpaste, and you are good to go. All right. No beer on the set. Just Awake purified drinking water. I'll be back with the headlines. Don't go anywhere. # GTV Breakfast.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
(2006).
Coming live from the capital, this is The Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is The Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on lifestyle,
sports,
word of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Coming live from the capital, this is The Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on lifestyle,
sports,
word of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Path of improving workplace productivity with effective HR strategies under the central theme, human resource in the new normal, leading the shift from surviving to thriving. Interested companies and individuals may register their seats. You may call 055-835-7200 or 050-579-5339 for further information. Highlights of the conference is the Classic Gala and HR Model Excellence Awards Night at Accra City Hotel on Friday 27, 2021 at 7 p.m. prompt. It's strictly by invitation, so get your corporate tables or tickets now. Alika, redefining HR in the new normal. Official media partners are GBC.
All right, hashtag GTV Breakfast live on Facebook, on DSTV, on GoTV, and in your homes, wherever you're finding us. Educative conversation on the screen. Thank you very much. As a comment here on Facebook. Great conversation there. IIPGH says Jeffrey Foster or Bing. Still to come, a conversation on the legacy of Professor Atta Mills. Ms. Kokwanido, who is our guest, sits down with tea at the top of the hour, and then Val also goes into some live painting mode. So you want to be here with us. It's now time for the headlines. My guests are Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Amidu Chinia Isahaku. Bedie. Good morning to you. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
And sitting next to him is former MP for the good people of North Dai in the Volta region, Mr. George Lo Indinao. Awesome. Good to have you both here. Did you know that his last name actually means crocodile?
It's nice.
It's nice.
The community I grew up, their taboo is the crocodile.
So the man is your taboo?
No, it means they revere the crocodile.
Oh, okay.
Because the belief is that many years ago, they wanted water, they couldn't find water. They met a crocodile and they followed the crocodile, and eventually they got water to drink. So they revered crocodile so much.
So George supplied the water?
Yes.
And your name Chinia means?
Where do I stand?
What do you want to respond to?
Oh,
How do you
well,
want to respond?
You come and stand by the riverbank.
And meet the crocodile.
And meet the crocodile.
And get more water to drink. If you can avoid the bites of the sharp teeth. Gentlemen, good to have you here. Ghanaian Times 2021 census officially ends. Finally, at last. Were you counted?
Yes, I was counted.
George, were you counted?
I'm sure I was. I have not. It was not physically counted, but I heard that they came to my house.
They came to your house.
So it's likely that information will be given about me.
Awesome. So just quickly on that, 99.4%, it sounds like a radio frequency, 99.4% of the population have been counted according to the 2021 National Population Housing Census, which officially ended. So the government statistician, Professor Enim, says less than 1% of the people who were not enumerated, that was due to refusal of people to participate in the census. It'll be interesting to know why they refused to take part in what is supposed to be a national exercise. George, did you get that feedback of some people who said, you know what, don't count me?
Yeah. Well, let me say good morning to you. Let me say good morning to my co-panelists, and good morning to the good people of Ghana. Yes, I think people even made very official threats on radio and TV that they were not going to participate in the census.
Is that an offense? I mean, on our statute books, if you refuse to take part in the census, can something be done to you?
Well, not to the best of my knowledge. I don't think so. But you see, we must also know why or understand why people would say that they don't want to participate in an exercise as important as the population census. Because you see, in the census is supposed to translate into development. We are supposed to know the number of people we have so that we could plan appropriately and do all that. But people are disillusioned because really that's not what is happening. People don't feel a part of the development process. So really people will just say, even all this counting, I don't see what it does for me. Unfortunate, but people, you can't stop people from feeling what they feel.
Do you think the Statistical Service did a bad job of but this is 99%. It's not bad. I mean, if you had 99.4 in your exam, you've got an A star. It's just 0.6% refused to be counted. It could be statistically important. It couldn't, but you think the Statistics Service did a good job in letting people know why they should be counted?
Well, they have a specific exercise to do. But you see, again, the way we handle every exercise in this country is knee-jerk. Yes, we know we have a population census coming. You know, it was even postponed because of in 2020 because and all that. I would have thought that this should have been an NCCE-led exercise in terms of the publicity, in terms of making people understand the importance of it. And then the Statistical Service, they are just out there to count and take data. But you do not feel the NCCE's impact. They are supposed to go in the communities and advise people and guide people as to why and make people understand why it's so important that we know the actual number of people we have so that planning can be done. But hey, we didn't see much of that, and that goes with a lot of our national exercises. I feel sad, you know, that in any exercise that we want to do, the NCC, which should be the forerunner, is never considered an important partner. You remember that during the COVID, we were supposed to do some, they had to be allocated vehicles from other institutions.
Some churches even donated some
Why?
vehicles to them.
And they've taken their vehicles back. So how do you expect them to work? It's not right. I think that we do not understand. You see, it looks like government does not understand that every successful national project would be better delivered if it is led by proper understanding, proper education.
Let me bring in the government representative who is here, the Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Mr. Ako. So, first of all, your comments on the census that has officially ended. Less than 1% were counted. Some people refused. Well, what's your thought?
Let me say good morning to my colleague panelists and good morning to you. And particularly good morning to the people of Sala East, my constituency, and viewers of GTV. I think that census is a very important exercise. Like my colleague said, at least it gives government and government agencies a fair idea about population from the community level to the constituency level, regional level, and then the national population, so that when it comes to planning, the country can better plan based on facts on the ground, because you are planning to develop the country, and the biggest factor you consider is the people, the population. And so it's a very important exercise. And for the Statistical Service to be able to count 99.4%, I think is quite good, because in every exercise that you do, certainly there will be some shortfalls. But to the extent that the shortfall is 0.6%, I don't think it's so bad. If you followed the census exercise and those who were not interested in the enumeration and the reasons they gave, for me, I don't.
What were some of the reasons they gave?
I mean, particularly I heard about demarcation issues. Some communities had issues with how their constituencies or their communities have been, the electoral area they have been located, or the constituencies they've been located, and all that. It has nothing to do. It's a different subject matter altogether.
Did you hear about some people even asking to be paid?
Yes,
before
yes.
They release information.
Yes, yes, and that is quite unfortunate. In terms of education,
yes,
I will say that people had adequate information about the exercise.
Mr. Lowe made a good point about the NCC almost being relegated to the background when it comes to delivering information on this.
Well,
what's your thought on that?
I don't think it is exactly the case. But the truth is also that some state institutions are less resourced. That is a fact.
Is NCC one of them?
NCC is one of them.
Why is that so?
But if you look at the current state of NCC and the budget provision, I think there is an improvement. But these are institutions that have been neglected for so many years. It's not something that has just happened suddenly. It's something as a country we have neglected some institutions in terms of resources and supporting them to be very vibrant. And I think that for us to develop as a country, we need to properly structure and support all institutions, because the relationship that exists between those institutions will make them work and work effectively.
You cannot be telling us that Ghanaians need to support them when your administration actually holds the purse strings and can actually make it happen.
So
you cannot be suggesting.
I have just stated that the last budget that was read, there was, the allocation that was done. It's an improvement over the years.
Before we jump into the next story, I'm thinking about your portfolio. So you're a Deputy Minister at Sanitation and Water Resources. How are you getting Ghanaians to know what kind of behavior change you want us to adopt, how to get ourselves cleaner and sanitation improved? Are you doing it by yourself, or you are involving NCC in your actions?
Well, the decentralized structures certainly will play a role in any ministry's ability to disseminate information. And this particular exercise for me, the census that was carried out, there were some questions I was personally attended to, and there were very important questions that relate to Ministry of Sanitation and Water, because when they come to your household, one of the questions they ask you is the number of toilets you have in your house. Or if it's a compound house, how many toilets you have, the source of water and all that. Because at the end of the day, as a ministry, we want to get adequate information about toilet facilities and access to water and all that, so that we can aggregate that and use it to plan in the ministry. But like you asked, I have always said that the Ministry of Sanitation and Water is a basic ministry, because the services that we are supposed to facilitate for Ghanaians are basic needs of every family. Every family needs clean water to drink, and for other uses, we need good environment and good sanitation. And so these are basic things that have the potential to help in poverty reduction. Because if you have access to good clean water and you have a good environment, then you are bound to avoid a lot of sicknesses that takes us to the hospital, and we end up spending a lot of money. I've always said that when you go to the OPD of any clinic or hospital, most of the reported sicknesses that you have there are water and sanitation related sicknesses. Okay. So our ability to be able to educate Ghanaians and to create more access to good potable water and good sanitation in our environment would reduce drastically hospital attendance, and by so doing, certainly our expenditure on healthcare will also reduce, and it will rather put savings into other productive sectors of our economy.
Okay, hashtag GTV Breakfast. If you just joined us, you're welcome. So come at 8 o'clock. T sits down with the founder of the Dr. Mills Institute to talk about the legacy of Professor Mills and issues trending. So Koko Nyido will be our guest for breakfast this morning. Mr. Lowe and Mr. Isahaku are looking at headlines. Mr. Lowe, Ghanaian Times, another order from Auditor General's report. DVLA, Drivers and Vehicle Licensing Authorities, ordered to recover 1.3 million cedis tax. Now, this money is coming from 19 private test stations who have not been paying their taxes. This is almost an annual ritual. I'm sure you may or may not miss your days in Parliament when these reports come up and people are being ordered to find the money. And it just ends there. Does the money actually come back?
Well, Kafis, yes, some monies get refunded, others don't. Because, once again, I have said over time that if we are serious about public accountability, then we should go one step further by giving the Public Accounts Committee some more teeth.
How would that happen? I've had this recommendation.
You see, I'll give you an example. In Uganda, I believe, or one of the countries, I remember when I went for one of the first Eastern African Public Accounts Committee conference, they said that, look, even at the level of Public Accounts Committee, there is a small contingent of police waiting whilst the hearing is going on. And if you were found not to have answered questions successfully, you were referred to them and then they took it over from there.
Oh, they had a police force on standby.
Yes, on standby. You were referred to them. You remember that, I think in 2020, Honorable Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, Honorable Aveji, ordered that some people should be arrested.
Were they?
Yes, they were, but eventually Ghana, the public backlash and things like that, I believe, I didn't see how it ended.
Did their chiefs go and campaign for their release?
You never know. So what it is that until and unless we begin to prosecute people, I believe that the Auditor General should have a specialized court where people go, they are prosecuted expeditiously, where they haven't done anything wrong. They are asked to go. Where they need to refund money, money is refunded. There are issues with even the reporting. For all you know, before you go this, thankfully I believe these people are kind of a private government-led. So the company survives the people who work there, so it can be retrieved. But in most cases, even by the time the report is dealt with, most of the people have retired and they've gone.
Does that mean that we'll have to, laws would have to be made to make this happen? Because
yes, we would have to look at the whole concept of public accountability using the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament. We have to see how we can strengthen that system so that people don't go and talk their way and go home knowing very well that, look, well, you can say all you want, but I go home and nobody comes after me. That is for me the worry, you know. And I remember at my time when I was ranking about Public Accounts Committee, I even went a step further of asking Secretary to detail all the people that we found problems with and hand it over to the Attorney General.
What happened after?
Well, I think that it was close to elections, so nothing happened. And then after the elections, I haven't heard anything.
Oh, things shut down when it's...
But when it's election, everybody goes helter-skelter. Everybody is in different parts of the country trying, MPs trying to fight for their seats back, government officials trying to campaign. So you know that 3 months, 6 months to election, we are generally affected as a nation by just the politics of it.
You missed those 3 months?
Well, yes, being a politician, you would always miss the political season. It's a very tiring but very exciting moment when you once again get to tell people what your party is looking forward to doing. So of course, sometimes you meet the political heat season, but off season you are a bit more relaxed.
Okay.
And sometimes then it is there that now I don't miss the likes of him. Because I know that the pressure on him is huge. At least I get 50% off what he gets.
Okay.
Yeah, but just 50%. I know that the MPs get so much pressure.
It's true.
Yeah.
You're weighing your words. Listen, Mr. Deputy Minister and MP for Sisala East.
Yes.
Is there really a will for the right thing to be done so that the monies can not only be recovered, but people must be dealt with to make it unattractive? Because the law has put forward some beautiful suggestions, but is there a will to make this happen? Laws will have to be changed. Are your colleagues interested?
Exactly the point you have made. Fortunately, I'm a member of the Public Accounts Committee.
Good.
Current
so former and then now current.
If you look at, or if you read the story, it is clear that if our current laws make provisions for some actions to be taken, except that in Ghana, there is one thing making laws, another thing enforcing the laws.
Why?
We sometimes have the necessary laws that can regulate the attitude of people, but enforcement becomes a problem.
Why?
And it's something that we have to look at critically.
No, we finished. We are tired of looking at it.
Yeah,
why is it hard to enforce?
Well, I mean, enforcement, you know, we have different agencies that work. Like public accounts, just review the report and make recommendations to the House, and the House, I mean, makes an onward distance to the Attorney General and all that. So you have different bodies dealing with different situations, because these are entities that have done business with the DVLA. And why will the DVLA, in the process of paying them, fail in taking the tax component for GRA? So somebody, GRA, and DVLA, must be held accountable. You have paid over 90 million Ghana cedis, and you were supposed to retain about 1.something million Ghana cedis tax. Why did the person fail to do it? I think we have adequate laws to address and to handle the person. Because you know, the law provides that once there is a contract and service has been rendered and you are paying for the service, some percentage of the money ought to be retained as tax to GRA. Why do you pay these 17 or 19 companies without retaining the tax component?
You're asking me a rhetorical question.
It must not. I'm asking all of us. It's a collective failure from state agencies.
The law does not agree.
The thing is that somebody at DVLA has failed.
Yes.
And the state has lost some money. There should be an agency that oversees. The Auditor General has queried it. It has come to public accounts. We are going to, they are going to come before us and to respond to it. But the interesting thing, this short period I have been with the Public Accounts Committee, one interesting thing that I have also observed is that there are some of the issues that actually come up because there is no proper interrogation. For all you know, the money has been paid, but there has not been a proper process to ascertain. So the people come before what is the Public Accounts Committee, and they're able to prove with documents that the money was paid. So it's more or less like this. Our systems are not actually working effectively.
So why don't we just fix the system?
You see, Kavi, I agree entirely with my brother. And sometimes it's very embarrassing when you have put people through difficult questions and things like that, and they produce on receipt or something, and it turns out that it is the Auditor General that has not done what they ought to have done. But you see, generally, our system of collection of money for government, I have a huge problem with it. You see, all you get, the impression you always get is that government needs your money. But the environment that will make you even generate the money and be able to pay to government, that environment is so complex.
Dr. Bawumia is simplifying it with
He's doing nothing.
Oh, the digitization, nothing.
Let me tell you something. Kafi, I don't know if you've paid Senate for workers. In fact, the last time Senate, for some small business I'm doing, Senate came and I was very angry with them. Kafi, if you like, owe Senate 270 cities or 370 cities and issue a check of 500, they will not collect it. Are you aware?
What is the reason for that?
They will tell you they want the specific amount.
The 270.
Yes. If you give them 271, they'll return the check. But is it not better if somebody pays and they pay account? I don't understand those kinds of things, and there are several of those challenges. So a taxman comes to your outfit, he's only interested in how much you owe, but he doesn't even want to go through the business process with you for you to even understand what you ought to do and what you ought not to do. So I believe that we need an overhaul. You talk about now. I hear GRA says that you can pay you can pay online and things like that. But the man in Brahabe who has no internet connectivity,
he will go and pay physically.
But you see, when I was on Public Accounts Committee, one of the challenges people have that there are people who are in a district without a GRA office, and sometimes they have to travel several kilometers. Maybe just to go and pay some tax component of 20, VAT component of 20 cedis or 30 cedis. So when you have such structures, you don't encourage people to want to spend 40 cedis to go and pay 20 cedis.
Will digitization help? Extending data across the country?
Again, that is our problem. We always want to implement without first doing basic research to understand why we are implementing. You see, and then our whole governance system is pretentious. I'll give you an example. My brother talks about, oh yes, the budget allocation to NCCE. Yes, the Minister of Finance will come and say that this year we are giving NCCE 150 million. At the end of the year, they've released 3 million. What is the use of coming to tell everybody that you give them 150 million, and at the end of the year, you give them 3 million? That 3 million, 98% of it is for item number 1, which is salaries. So, administration and other things, development, nothing. Next year, they'll come and say, oh, even this time we are increasing it to 300 and give them 2 million. I mean, it is just, for me, it's just a fanciful way of administration. And I'm happy when President Kufuor even said about salaries some time ago. So we are pretending we are paying people. And so in fact, people are pretending they are working for us. But we need to have a rethink of our whole governance system, financial management and everything. We tried doing that a bit with the new Financial Management Act that was passed by Parliament. But it doesn't look like it's resolved a lot of the issues.
Lots of issues. Yes,
Let me just add something. The first one is, I think that we really need to look at our structures in terms of public accounting. If you look at the last public hearing that we had, people coming all the way from Marriage Upper West, and the amount of money they were cited for misoperation, the expenditure they're making to come and defend that is far more than.
Yes. Should have just sat in Upper West and done a Zoom call.
And secondly, we need to look at the institutions' internal control systems, their internal audit, and even the external audit. Sometimes they audit and they query people. You invite them, they come and demonstrate that they didn't actually commit any crime or any mistake. The second thing I want to talk on is the question you put to my brother, and he bluntly, about digitization. I mean, if my brother says that nothing is happening, that would be very, very unfair, because development is a process. And one of the major challenges that confronts Ghana has been the fact that everybody wants development, but the number of people who pay tax are fewer. As a government, how do we identify people and bring them into the tax brackets?
And what's the solution?
And this Ghana card system that has been developed. Now we have enrolled over 15 million people that cannot be identified. And we can get majority of them to pay tax. Whereas in the past, we had less than 2 million people paying tax and everybody expecting development. And as long as we are not able to generate enough revenue on our own, development will be a challenge. And there are a lot of things that this digitization is a positive things. Health insurance, now you can sit in the comfort of your room and renew your health insurance. I mean, you go around like crowd at locations you cannot go. You use your phone and you're able to identify them and go there. I mean, it's a process, and it means a lot to Ghana as part of our development process. So for you to say that it doesn't mean anything.
Well, I think that you also misunderstood me. You also misunderstood me.
You were quite clear. You said
I was very clear
nothing is happening.
Yes, in respect of the tax, the revenue issues that we're talking about.
You are now giving us the nuance. So thank you for that.
That's the question. The question was that is what Dr. Baumia seeks to resolve. And I said no. In that sphere, I don't believe that what they are doing resolves the problem.
Even honorable, but in terms of revenue, if you go to the port and harbour, with the digitalization, our revenue has increased by over 300%.
You see, people are just excited by maybe some movements. I'm saying that when we are having a policy, let the people, wherever they are, feel a part of the policy.
Let the people feel a part
because
of the
many people, I've been saying this, and I think that I said it to one of the ministers the last. I said, look, when COVID came, and we wanted to do distance learning for students, there were students who clearly were cut off because they cannot have access to it, because they don't have the infrastructure.
Of course, no data.
No data. Even university students were having huge problems. The point is, before the rollout, did we really look at the systems we had?
So the point is that things should have been done systematically.
Because I hear something in Ghana that kills my soul. You hear a minister saying that, you can't get it right all the time. Who said so? Who says that if you want to roll a program, one of your attitudes will be that, oh, you know everybody who can benefit for now, so let's start. No.
Well, you also have pilot programs.
Yes, but then a pilot is a pilot. But I don't do a nationwide rollout. And I also have a problem. Pre-testing or pilot, as they call it, is one of our major bins. How many of the national things we've done that was pre-tested? You see, those of us in public policy, with public policy orientation and research, we find it very, very weird that we roll out national programs without any pre-testing or pilots. And that is one of the biggest problems we have.
A big problem we have, according to Mr. George Lowe. Another problem, according to Kojo Nyantechi, is that there are allegations of Public Accounts Committee members taking bribes. This is a comment from Facebook. How do you respond to that, Mr. Isako? You are on the committee, and Mr. George Lowe used to be on the committee. So
I can do
people bribe you?
Well, I have been there not for a long time. I can't dispute what he's saying, but I haven't come, I mean, nobody has come to bribe me, and I am not aware that the committee members have been bribed. So as long as I don't have any information to agree with him, I can speak to it. But I can also say he's lying because I don't know how things have happened in the past.
Mr. Lowe?
But if it is true, that would be unfortunate.
Did anybody try to influence your decisions with envelopes?
You see, that is, like he said, maybe, I don't know, somebody as an individual is doing something somewhere, I cannot tell. But as a committee, it's a bit difficult for you to come because this is one of the few committees where bipartisanship makes it impossible for one side to say that I'm taking envelope from somebody. Because, one, most of the time, the report that you are reviewing is a report of a past government or a present government. Now, the chairman of the committee is always from the minority. And the chairman wields a lot of influence. So, at the end of the day, even the bipartisan nature does not allow people to go there and say that because if you want, why are you bribing me? Because how we operate is that everybody has a copy of the report. And we have I don't know how you do it now, but we have a pre-sitting meeting. And so issues that are identified collectively. We know that today in this report, these are the key issues we want to interrogate. We agree as a bipartisan group before we go and face the cameras. So really, if you don't ask the hard question, somebody else will ask it. So it is foolish for anybody's part to go and say that I'm going to bribe the public account.
On that note, I want to end this conversation.
One interesting aspect of it is that, you know, when the party is in opposition, these are some of the avenues they use to hold the government in check and to make the government unpopular. And the public accounts is always chaired by a member of the minority,
as just said.
And they always want to take the government on. They will ask all the hard questions, they will expose all the rot, and they will try to make a case out of. Even if there's nothing, they want to make a case.
So maybe, how many members are on this committee, briefly?
Well, the majority, the minority has the majority. They have, I think, 12 members, and we have 11.
Okay, so theoretically, you'd have to try and bribe everybody.
So the minority will always have the majority on the public accounts.
Okay.
And they will not, that is one of the ways they used to operate for their party was in opposition.
All right, gentlemen, I want to say thank you so much. Time is our biggest enemy. But before we go, I want to ask you this question. And I'll start with you first, Mr. Deputy Minister. What in your eyes is the greatest legacy of Professor Atta Mills? May he rest in peace.
Is it in terms of physical project or, I mean, his...
Please answer the question the way you had.
Well, the first thing I want to say is about the biggest legacy I personally is his demeanor.
His demeanor.
His demeanor. He's an excellent and perfect gentleman.
Something you can learn from.
In terms of development, he did some major roles in Accra. The first phase of the Central Commission, I think he did the first phase, and it was a major project.
So for him,
that I think
for you, his demeanor,
but his demeanor is an excellent. That even if you don't agree with him politically, but at least his demeanor is something every politician or every human being would want to learn and be in that kind of, have that kind of posture.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lowe,
well, you would say that he taught us that you could hold the highest office of the land and yet remain a very humble, peaceful and good unifier as a people. You remember the father of all?
Yes.
Even though some people don't agree with him, but he was one person who was taking us to a direction where he thought that when we are in peacetime, when after elections, two sides of the political divide can come together and move this country forward. It was one passion that he had. Unfortunately, he didn't live to carry it out fully, but he will forever be remembered as Asomdwe of Ghana and a president par excellence.
How do you say Asomdwe in Ever?
Ntifafafia.
Yeah, Akbanao. Mr. George Lowe is former MP for North Dai, and you are now an executive in the Water Region NDC. Vice Chairman. Thank you very much. Yes. And the Honorable Amidu Chinia Isahaku is the Honorable Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources and a Member of Parliament for the people of Sisala East in Lolum.
Baraka.
Thank you very much. Still to come on GTV Breakfast, just around the corner, the Executive Director of the Atamils Institute, Mr. Koku Anyidoho, Samuel Koku Anyidoho, gets to sit down with tea to talk about the legacy of Prof. Mills and other trending issues. And then there's a visual artistry that will happen towards the end of the show with Val. Don't go anywhere. We are live on Facebook, on DSTV, on GoTV, and on your phones right now. GTV Breakfast.
Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
sports,
word of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
sports,
what of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
It didn't just begin out of the blue. Like you said, my working with President Mills
was a calling. So he said, Master, speak. I said, I'm here. Of course, I'm Samuel. So it must have been in Shiloh. And then God called Samuel, and Samuel said, speak thy servant here. Yeah. So through GBC, then I went out to UK, did my master's at UEA, University of East Anglia. Came back, worked with the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. Ended up at the Metropolitan and Island Bank, the first private commercial bank, as a executive assistant to the then chairman, Mr. Alex Ashabo, blessed memory. So one had some good training, corporate work, international exposure, coupled with GBC, communications and all that. So President Mills called me. Of course, I've been NDC from day one. Let's say because of my background growing up in Burma camp. So I saw Rawlings May 15th.
Also, God rest his soul.
Oh, God rest his soul. May 15th, 79, June 4th, 79, 31st December, 79. I lived the revolution. I didn't read about it. I didn't hear. I lived through it. I mean, running from Kotoka Primary School, looking for siblings to get to Blabadi Villas, and all that. Watching the Rawlings at Nicholson Park, bare-chested on top of the Mohawk, and the general anger of men against officers. Of course, my father was an officer. How they moved our parents into guard rooms, then they would sift through, allow some to go because they were the targets of the other ranks. Long and short, my a relationship with Jerry Rawlings began at that young age. So once we began the 1990, and of course on Legon campus, Kafi Day will tell you, he's my nephew, all right, but we were mates in Legon from first year to final year, sat in the same classroom in some subjects. I took a personal interest in fighting for the establishment of democracy. And go and check the records in Legon. I was one of the student leaders that really fought for the re-establishment of constitutional rule. So when it comes to the 1992 democratic dispensation, Thelma, I am part of it, I will be part of it, but the history is written. My name is etched in it. It is with that passion that I joined the NDC, because of course, coming from PNDC Rawlings, naturally, and I think in my DNA, politically, I think left and center of left. I can't go right. I mean, so that's it. And so NDC, and we did. Of course, then President Mills was a lecturer on campus when I was on campus. And then he was president of the amalgamated sports clubs. I played some hockey, I played some football.
And he did sing, the late pro.
And he did so many other things. I mean, he was just an all-rounder. I wasn't an all-rounder. On the lighter side, in my final year in Legon, I ended up as the head coach of the Legon Hall team.
That would have been nice to
people see. Like Kesley Coleman, Apele 2 and co. Anyway, so 1992 passed, 96 passed, President Mills became vice president. There's another whole story about how he became vice president. So I knew him from Legon campus, albeit maybe not that close. And so let nobody sit somewhere and say they held my hands and took me to President Mills. It's all propaganda. And then cascade forward, so we lost 2000 elections. 2001, so the NDC was under siege, serious siege. I mean, President Kufuor had taken over and all the usual politics of Ghana, bring stolen vehicles, do that, hauling people before Yoko, SFO, all that kind of thing. So a group of young men dedicated to the NDC came together. In fact, it was at Cuckoo Hill. That's the late Harry Sawyer, Uncle Harry Sawyer's place, where he gave to give to President Mills, or Vice President Mills at the time. So it became our center. In fact, we called it the center, campaign center. We gathered there and then together. In the past, I used to mention names of some of my contemporaries in that group, but I decided I won't any longer. Let people tell their own stories.
Have they broken faith with you?
Well, it's not about breaking faith, but when you try to give everybody the same pedestal, and then people want to crab you, okay, so let them tell their own story. So Kokoli joined a group of people at Cuckoo Hill. President Mills had gone to Canada for a year, something, just to cool off. He came back. So that's how the whole renaissance of the NDC began, 2001. I was still at the bank then. So with resources and stuff, we were helping those who didn't have. In fact, that was where we had what we call the MMT. Okay, so I'll mention some things that deserve to be mentioned. The likes of Clarissa Kolache, the late Jijote, Komla Sopo, Gadiel Aqua, may his soul rest in peace, Utache. People like that, John Adams, people who really, what's his name? Bismarck Agbemenule, Dixon Bobako.
But eventually you left banking and then you focused on
President
this
Mills who called, President Mills called me one morning. So we had done 2004 again and lost. Or for that matter, Jake went and did what he did. May his soul rest in peace. And we believed we had won 2004 elections. We actually wanted President Mills to walk us onto the streets and really go and do whatever. That was when he sat us down and said, look, he doesn't have an inordinate desire to become president, and that he will not allow a drop of blood. No. If it's God's will, the 4 years will just waft away, and then God will give him the presidency. But he was not going to lead us onto the streets to go and kill ourselves. What for? Political power? No. That was when I began to, like, wow. Then, 2004, so 2005, towards the end thereabout, he called me personally on phone. He had come back from South Africa. We met him at the airport. I had a personal chat with him, and he said he was trying to form his nucleus to go back for re-election, to lead the NDC in 2006, and that he was looking around and that he'll get back to me. In fact, initially he said I should look for somebody of Volta stock for him because he was doing his permutation and he needed regional balance, and that he was giving me up to a week to look for somebody for him. What was I going to find? Then he called once and said, have you found the person? I said, no, I'm still finding, sir. He called me one morning when I was having my morning devotion. I said, Koku, in all honesty, you are the one I'm looking for. But I couldn't tell you directly. Will you work for me? Tell me.
And that was how it started.
I just, without consulting anybody, I just said, yes, sir. And his first question was, Koku, I don't have money to pay you. I know you work in the bank. And I'm like, sir, if it was about money, you won't call me. I consider it to be a calling. Just like Christ called his disciples, say we work. And that's how I just resigned from the bank. We put in a letter. People thought I had maybe cost some financial something. People went behind me to check. It was nothing. It was a good man who had called me into service.
The man, Professor John Evans Atta Mills, was known widely as a man of peace, soft-spoken, kind-hearted, placable, compassionate. And some believe strongly that he was a joy to work with. What was your experience working with him like? And I'm asking this because we are focusing on his legacies in particular.
He was deep. The depth of his knowledge and the wealth of his experience, Thelma, unsurpassable. Very magnetic brain. I used to write his speeches for him. Thank God, one of my fortes is writing. I write a lot and it comes naturally, and I thank God for that skill. So I used to write his speeches in opposition and even in government. Name it. I have 2 copies of State of the Nation addresses that I wrote myself and he read to the nation, Commonwealth speeches, the UN speeches. I wrote everything. Now, if you're going to be a speechwriter for such a deep thinker, you have to be a deep thinker yourself. And for me, he allowed me to think deep.
So how is the Institute immortalizing his legacy? And why is it you? There are some who think there are other people who knew the prof better, maybe, knew him longer. Maybe even his family could have spearheaded this. So why you, and how are you doing it?
Nothing that is happening under the sun hasn't happened before, the Bible says. Read all from Genesis to Revelation in the Bible. Jesus Christ, his relatives, what did they write about him? It's the disciples and the apostles. The disciples and the apostles who believed in the gospel.
So you are Professor Mills' apostle?
I believe so. I'm a disciple of
Apostle Koku.
Disciple Koku, Apostle Koku, whatever. No, because that's how it is. I mean, it doesn't have to be blood. With all due respect to blood, yes. But I worked with him, Thelma. I stopped my job. I committed myself to him. When people don't have faith in him, and I know, I still remember people who said, you are leaving this well-paid job in the bank to go and work for a sick man who's never going to become president, who's going to die midway. What happens to you and your family? How do you feel yourself? I said, I have faith
But later on, did you find cause to think, even if it was for a moment, that maybe they were right?
They were right. Let the clock wind back 100 times. I would take the same decision and even be more loyal to the man. I mean, so we won an election.
So how are you immortalizing?
So they're immortalizing the Tamils Institute. So back to answering your question, it didn't just come out of nothing. It's sometimes discussed with him. We always knew, and that's how you must think as a human being, that no system lasts forever. So he knew he won't be president forever. I knew I would not be communication director or spokesperson forever. So we started planning the exit route. So we believed God would have given him 8 years. He would have done the 8 years, and then when he's out, I'll join him, and we'll set up a thing like this. Worldwide, it happens. So the Clinton Foundation, the Obama Foundation, the Carter Foundation. Even here in Ghana, President Kufuor set up his foundation. President Rawlings luckily has a foundation. There's the Dankwa Buzia Institute. So it's nothing new. It's only the ignoramuses who think that Kokoa Nyido was going to hijack something or something. Besides, my legacy, political legacy, Thelma, is intrinsically linked and woven. The yarn around which my political cotton spins is that Tamil's yarn. And I'll be an idiot to allow that yarn to collapse. So I'm spinning his political legacy and I'm keeping the wheel of my own legacy and my own existence alive. So people want to get angry with it. That's their business. It will stop me. It won't stop me.
The late Prof passed away 9 years ago.
Yeah.
He just marked his 9th anniversary in July. Just recently, 10 August was 9 years since he was buried.
Yeah.
Next year, 2022, is 10 years. Are there any plans by the Institute, the Tamils Institute, to celebrate this in a grander, maybe, if I am permitted to use that word, a fashion than we've seen so far?
Well, yes. At the Institute level, that's what we're going to do. But next year will be 10 years. He was a president of the Republic of Ghana. Now, the Asumdwe Park, where he was laid to rest 9 years ago, graciously, the Akufo-Addo government has agreed under the Coastal Development Authority, and work is being done. So the place is being built into a befitting resting place for the former president. President Rawlings did it for Kwame Nkrumah and put up the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. So if President Akufo-Addo is doing it for late President Mills, I don't think there's need to kick up any hubris or dust about it. So we're hoping that it will be done. I know that funds are being released by government. So it's a government project, except that the Tamils Institute is spearheading it. And I believe that next year, on the 10th of August, graciously, His Excellency President Akufo-Addo will commission that state edifice, that state monument. And I think I will take humble pride in standing alongside the president to commission that place.
So Asumdwe Park is being taken care of. What about the Tamils Library? We know it's run into some challenges with funding, and the contractor came out to make certain claims.
Thelma, the Tamils Library is a different, matter altogether. It hurts me. I weep in my heart.
What's the state of the library now?
I know what I knew from the onset of the outset was that it was being funded by telcos. So independently funded, not by government. I was a member of the planning committee at the time. But they had a chairman, they had people who were in charge. So the contract was awarded and work began. Sword was cut. At a point in time, we were all told that work had been completed, so commissioning took place. Only for us to wake up and realize that, yeah, commissioning did take place, but the place was not in use. News started going around that the contractor said he had been paid only a certain percentage of the agreed sum. And so that was it. And that they owe him. And to date, that edifice is rotting away in Cape Coast.
Do you intend to take that up and then see to it that it is brought to the level that you meant, or the Institute would want it to be at, since it's bearing the name of the late Prof?
Yeah, I mean, it's sacrilegious. It is sacrilegious that funds invested in such and look at my library. It's not a community library. It's a presidential library modeled around the American pattern. And this one was going to be like the biggest in the whole of Africa, next to one in South Africa. And I think President Obasanjo also has a similar one in Nigeria. So why did we sit down and allow the thing to be rotting away like that, when it could have served? In fact, the siting of the library close to the Cape Coast Castle was purposely to drive the traffic that goes to the castle to also come to this monument. It was supposed to be attached to the University of Cape Coast, so it becomes a place of research. It's not been done. I don't have full control for that one yet. What God has given me some control over, measure of control over, is Asomdwe Park. So it's coming up. We'll also have a mini library, a mini audiovisual center, a mini conference room, a cafeteria, offices. So in our own little way, maybe what that big library project couldn't do, Asomdwe Park will do. In fact, this morning I just drove to Asomdwe Park when I was coming. I had to go and check on the contractors. Interestingly enough, just close by, they have rebuilt some structures there under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is going to house foreign dignitaries. You can imagine housing foreign dignitaries there, having Asomdwe Park fully done up. I mean,
let's rest Asomdwe Park and the library for a while. And I just want to flip the coin. Some have said that for someone who worked so closely with the prof, knowing very well the attributes that he exuded, trust, honesty, patience, calmness, you're very strong with your emotions and very forceful in your expressions of your emotions. How do you respond to that?
That's how we won the 2008 elections.
So when people say you do buga buga politics, or you did it for Atamils, they will be right to say so?
I don't think that they'll be far from the truth. I mean, one had to adopt a certain posture. This same question came up 2 days ago somewhere, and I just drew an analogy, and the people were like, I said, Azuma Nelson is a boxer, right?
Yes, but you are not a boxer.
No, hold on. So let me finish. When he's preparing for a boxing tournament, you know how he gets ready for it? The dawn, running sessions, the sparring sessions. He has to adopt a certain attitude because he has a trophy. He has a belt to go and win. He finishes winning the belt. He doesn't wake up every morning with gloves, boxing everybody on the street. Because he's won his belt. Elections have to be won. Politics is psychological warfare. Hey, you say my man is sick. You say my man is invalid. He's incapable of running an election. He's a weakling. It was my duty to tell you that the man is not a weakling. You can't insult him and get away with it. Of course, I didn't have to insult, but one had to adopt a certain posture. And he's no longer alive. But on the lighter side, every now and then, because I can say it, he's gone now, after he had become president, he will be then like, Koku, the system is a bit quiet. Why don't you go and fix something and heat up the system? I mean, everything I did with his consent, and I'm glad that he appreciated it every step of the way. And people go to him, why you be my? And as you are descending, he's called me quietly. So I'll be coming up the staircase as you are going down. Once I enter the office, you say, did you see Thelma go down? You know, she came and sat here. You know, these people, know them. But don't let them know that you know them. So Thelma, I know them all.
Now that you are talking about knowing them, I wouldn't have done my job all round if I didn't ask you this directly.
Yes, but you see, talking about the president's legacy, one of the things that we really need to look at as a country, we'll come back quickly, but I'm sure we'll do a sequel to this one. But it has to do with this.
He's telling the producer
yes,
wants to come
we
back.
will do a sequel. If it's GTV, we'll do a sequel. Talking about the legacies and one of the better things that Tamils Institute is championing, because what we are doing is that we have not been created just for Asomdwe Park. No, it's a civic education and a public policy advocacy think tank, duly registered here in Ghana. That's our core mandate.
And the issue of the constitution review is
very critical.
We had Dr. Sakara and Professor Tuguba on the program to talk about this exact same thing. Do you intend to partner with organizations like the NIM movement of Dr. Sakara and Professor Tuguba?
Anything to drive this national agenda that Tamils Institute shall do. Anything, because it was Atamils' baby. And I'm happy that Dr. Tuguba, who is now professor, his name is also a 10-member committee. Professor Fiajo was the chairman. Kumbu Nairi, member. Osabana Kusiata was member. Mr. Kentina Piak Menka, member. Mrs. Sabina Uforibuati, member. The Reverend Professor Samuel Kwesi Ejepon, member.
So you intend to engage in some consultations with them to make this happen?
And push it. Ghana needs it.
Because we will quickly be running out of time. My producer will be screaming my ears in a minute. You've mentioned former President John Agyekum Kufuor. You've mentioned current President Nana Akufo-Addo. You've mentioned Chairman Rawlings, former President as well. You've not mentioned John Mahama. And this is a man that was also a president of the NDC. In fact, he was the man that took over from your darling Prof. So people always wonder, do you have something against John Mahama? Like, do you hate him or something?
In 2016, when I was Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, in the heat of the election, just before result declaration, I held a press conference maybe around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And I said the NDC was in a comfortable lead.
The famous comfortable lead statement.
Who was the leader and president of the NDC at the time? Jonathan Atamils, Rawlings, Kufuor, Nana Akufo-Addo. Who was?
John Mahama.
Thank you. So where is this coming from?
Because there are those who think that you feel, and I'm just passing on comments that we received
you have a right
viewers.
to. Yes.
So they assume that you feel that perhaps John Mahama's achievements may have overshadowed the late professor's achievements, and maybe you're peeved about it.
I don't want to cascade into the gutters of pettiness. President Mills's achievements are there, they stand tall. I'm not going to go into any watery comparison to appease some little minds who think that they're going to waste my time on their side of the debate. What President Mills did, 2 public universities in 3.5 years, University of Health and Allied Sciences, University of Energy and Natural Resources in the Brong-Ahafo region, the new Legon Hospital, the number of secondary schools across the country. The honorable member for Sisala East just left, Tumu. In his next constituency, Sisala West, Golu, where the former president Hilal Iman, a brand SHS came up under Mills and he named it after him. Look, the legacy of President stands. I'm not going to go into any, like I said, any watery comparison. I'm dealing with President Mills. Those who want to talk about other things, let them go and then talk about other things. Right. But otherwise, I said, in 2016, I said, and read my lips, I said President Mahama was in a comfortable lead. I had a mandate at the time to execute. As a party member, I executed. Today, I am no longer the party headquarters, Thelma.
And you are not even a member of the NDC anymore because you've been expelled. And so you haven't conducted or granted any interviews to express your opinions about this whole expulsion business. Let me take your initial comments on that particular development, and then I'll follow up with 1 or 2 more.
Well, this is the NDC's constitution. You understand? I came with the NDC's constitution and Ghana's constitution. You understand? This constitution guarantees me my civil liberties and my citizenship. This constitution guarantees my membership of the NDC.
Even if the organization says they don't want
it's a voluntary organization, but still has a constitution.
And what does the constitution say about membership?
And there are rules and regulations governing that the voluntary organization. You want to expel somebody? Let me just read Article 47.
Are you going to refer to the dismissal letter?
No, hold on. I'll give you, let me just, first of all, Article 47 of the NDC's constitution, which Code of Conduct and Disciplinary Code, and then Rules of Conduct for Party Members. G, that is subsection or clause G. Faithfully apply the fundamental human rights and freedoms provisions of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So, this Constitution also believes in the fundamental freedom rights.
But how has that been flouted in your case?
Hold on. So, we're talking about the principles of natural justice. You understand? That a man must be given a right and a hearing.
But
Hold on.
We hear that you were given an opportunity to appear before a disciplinary committee.
Where is the evidence?
You're saying that they did not invite you to...
No.
They did not give you a fair hearing or any hearing at all?
No. No hearing. As for fair, it's subjective. Fairness is in the bosom of who wants to be fair. There's nothing about a hearing. Nobody gave a hearing, Thelma. Now, I was going to ignore it because the so-called suspension was in the airwaves. Or on the airwaves. Nobody gave me a formal suspension like that. So, why should I come? You are saying I'm commenting for the fair because I don't comment to rumor.
And you don't respond to your tweets.
I don't respond to rumor. So you say you have suspended a certain Koko Anyido, which is not me because nobody has given me a letter. As for the so-called disciplinary committee, something, me, when they say they had sent me, they say they sent, now they say they went through WhatsApp, they tried email, they tried EMS. You attempted. Did you?
So are you still a member of the NDC?
Hold on. Then the expulsion comes. I was going to ignore it. Because even the initial one that I saw somewhere, the name was spelled wrongly. Until the general secretary decided to go on a ranting spree on the media. And I use the word ranting spree. And still I will not comment because he was talking until he decided to zero in on my working relationship with President Mills. Then I'm like, hey, hold on.
But the guy is not here to defend himself.
So this is a letter that I fired to him. And I took mine to the headquarters for it to be received. This is dated 2nd August 2021. The General Secretary, National Democratic Congress.
A quick one.
Good one. Quick one. Expulsion from NDC. Reference the above. Dear Mr. Kojo Asiedu-Ketia, since Tuesday, July 27, 2021, and per your voice commentary on a plethora of media outlets in the Republic of Ghana.
Koku, let's get to the main.
Hold on. Yes, and beyond. You have made and continue to make running comments about the expulsion of Samuel Koko from the NDC. I am registered as Samuel Koko at the Tanyigbe Itwe branch, Volta region, as a proud member of the NDC. And so I deem it that all your comments are directed at my person. Indeed, your reference to me as an aide to President Mills makes it very certain that I am the one you continue to refer to. It's a short thing.
And what was the response? Have you received the response?
I have been a loyal member of the NDC and continue to be since 1992. I have never infringed the constitution of the party. I do not have a history of indiscipline. This is the way they claim. Without serving me with any document, you have, per your voice and body language, made so many disparaging comments about my supposed expulsion from the NDC.
Koku, you've made that
and
point.
Gone further to make incendiary comments. Listen.
What was the response?
Respectfully, I am please requesting for the expulsion letter for my perusal to enable me advise myself on subsequent actions I need to take.
So you have
no response.
You have allegedly been expelled, and you don't know why they've allegedly expelled you.
Prejudicial to the loss of natural justice.
So you are still an NDC member?
Full-blooded. Wallahi talai.
Would you do anything differently with the benefit of hindsight? Would you do anything different? If you could turn back the hands of time. Would you do anything differently?
Ask the question, sorry. That's the lighter side.
Would you do anything differently?
All
that has happened that led to your expulsion, life after the supposed
there must be basis for
20 seconds.
Hold on. There must be basis for expulsion. That's why when you go to court, the court can fine you for coming to court with a frivolous and a vexatious matter. Somebody once said that any idiot can go to court about it. In the same way, any idiot can present a petition.
What's your favorite song? Before I let you go, what's your favorite song?
Oh, I have many, but as it is now, Charlie, we have to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery.
So, emancipating ourselves from mental slavery. Thank you so much for agreeing to.
Is the time gone already?
It's gone. We've done 10 minutes extra. So
I appreciate
the next segment.
It's been exciting.
Well. Thank you.
I'll come back anytime you invite me.
I'm sure that we'll have another opportunity to engage once again. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you for tuning into this.
Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
sports,
what of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
sports,
what of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Many that I could comment on, but let me just go through just a few of them. Emmanuel Nate is saying, I like the kind of questions we are not, I'm not really getting it, but he said, you should be watching the Breakfast Show and we are liking what you are saying. Thank you very much. There was a question earlier on your tweet, Koku, and there was a specific one that said, why don't you respond to your social media messages?
Well,
you even read the comments?
Well, Tama, I value all the persons who follow me on my Twitter handle. I respect everybody. So if you notice, my messages are very personal. I say, I love you. I say, good morning. I say, God bless us all. Because I must have a personal relationship with my followers. And I value every one of them. But you and I know that even our WhatsApp messages and our phone messages, text messages, time doesn't allow us to go through everything. And so, forgive me, I respond as and when I want to respond. But, you know, I mean, the abusive ones, how can I respond to the abusive ones? They want to draw you to something and you don't want to go there.
Let's see if you remember this one. One of my colleagues in the newsroom, Osfor York, she said she loves the one that you put about time, giving, vindicating.
Vindication lies in the womb of time. Vindication lies in the womb of time. So with time, the womb will give birth to vindication. So if people are calling you names today, it's like at the conception stage. Some 9 months down the line, there will be birth, and the womb will now give birth to vindication, and you'll be vindicated. So when you are being called this thing, don't be worried. Just wait, and then a few months, a few weeks from now, you'll be vindicated. The womb will give birth to vindication.
So
it's a Yoruba. Let me just say, it's not mine because I don't want to be accused of plagiarism. It's an old time Yoruba proverb. I'm a student of literature actually. You and Kafi Day, we did some English on Legon campus. So I read a lot, and I hate dogma.
And you think that this, for example, in your words, your supposed expulsion.
I'm happy you're using the word supposed.
That's why I'm also attributing it to you. You are saying you haven't, in your estimation, you're still a member of the NDC. Yeah. So is it something that you expect you'll be vindicated?
Oh, certainly, because
in the womb of time.
In the womb of time.
Your vindication.
Yeah, because you see, this, first of all, they haven't served me with any procedure. or any process. Let me use the legal language.
But does your constitution say that you have to be served papers before you're expelled from the party?
Otherwise, but I've just read an article which says that.
You've read an article that is upholding the freedoms of an individual.
The laws of natural justice say that you must give a man a fair hearing before you can pronounce judgment on him. The man has not been served any processes. He has not been given a fair hearing. You've pronounced judgment. It is against the laws of natural justice.
You sound like you're gearing up to fight this. Do I see a court process?
I'm gearing up to evoke the relevant clauses in the NDC's constitution.
So you are in court?
Not yet.
Or you're going?
Not yet, because I want to respect the constitution. Now, the constitution says that in the event that any such decisions are taken, what you must do is that you must kick in all the internal remedial architecture. That thing, then you can now go to court. So if you look at this letter, Thelma, when I go to the General Secretary, I copied Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, who is the national chairman and the leader of the NDC. Also for the education of our viewers, he's the national chairman and leader because per the same constitution of the NDC, Article 25 of the Constitution is very clear that when we find ourselves in a situation like just a political party, where we are in opposition and we don't have a flag bearer, the national chairman doubles as the leader of the party. It is here, Article 25, very clear. So Samuel is the chairman and leader. It didn't start from him. At various points, Dr. Boda Samoa was chairman and leader. Dr. Kwabre J became chairman and leader. Dr. Potufi became chairman and leader. So that's the NDC's constitution. So I copied him. Then I copied the NDC Council of Elders, the National Executive Committee, the Functional Executive Committee, of course, Mr. Bagbin, Honorable Speaker, because he's a senior member of the party and holds that high position. Then Mr. Iti Mensah, member of Council of State, also because he's a member of the party, holds a high position. Then the Honorable Minority Leader, obviously because of the respect for the Minority Caucus. Then the Honorable Bajira, who is the chairman of the Volta Caucus because I come from Volta region. Then all 16 regional chairmen. So I have kicked in the internal processes. Let's see how it goes. But that failing, and for the sake of the constitution of the NDC and upholding the 1992 constitution, I will have to end up in court. If this one doesn't work, I will go to court.
Koko, the late prof that you saw...
He was a lawyer.
The late prof was a lawyer, but he was also known to be a very peaceful man. Wouldn't he perhaps have wanted you to go at this in a more...
That's what I'm saying, Tama.
Can I say peaceful manner?
What is the peaceful manner?
Because it sounds like war drums are...
No. Going to court is not war. Going to court is only respecting the laws of the land. Because let me tell you, I've been Deputy General Secretary for 4 years. So I went to the presidency. I didn't leave the party after the death of President Mills. I stayed. We won the 2013 elections. 2012. 2014, I went for Congress. Deputy General Secretary. I went to the headquarters and served my party with distinction and dexterity. In the process, I've seen a lot of things, or a few things, that are not right. Somehow, that wrong has walked in my direction. If I fail to right that wrong, Professor Mills will punish me because I'm a leader of a political party. I'm a national figure. If there are some things in this constitution, dead ends, pitfalls, it is my duty to help us clean it up.
So now, apart from the National Constitution Review,
I'm on a redemption mission. No, I'm telling you, I'm on a redemption mission. Not for only the NDC, but even for the Republic of Ghana. It's a calling.
Now you're calling for a review of the NDC's constitution.
So we'll do the internal mechanisms. Look, let me tell you. Yesterday, well, it's on, so that they will say that they put it, but I can tell you that as of yesterday, a letter emanated from the NDC headquarters, signed by one of the deputy general secretaries. Listen, to all regional chairmen, that they should bring input for the amendment of the NDC's constitution. I'm a hero. Wallahi.
I'm just going to just pick your thoughts on this again.
I mean, because others, where will it come from? That they are now writing to regional chairmen to bring input for amendment of the Constitution. It has never happened before. So I'm happy that I'm bearing this cross. One of these days, I'm saying that vindication lies in the womb of time. I, Samuel Kokusi Chopa Anyido, I'll be vindicated on this matter. And I wear my crown of glory.
Koku.
Just like Mordecai wore his crown of glory, and Haman ended up in the gallows.
Koku, let's go back to our Tamils for a minute. What have been some of the most daunting challenges in the path of this drive to immortalize the memory of the late Prof?
Now, this is his State of the Nation. This is the last one he read on Thursday, February 16, 2012, before he passed. Just a little thing for us to put things in. Madam Speaker, our common yearning to see Ghana moving forward binds us as one people, and of course I wrote this thing, and I believe to be one of it. Even as we seek to promote our respective political ideologies, we must be willing to synthesize the best ideas from both sides of the House for the advancement of the country. We must all be willing to put aside unnecessary partisanship and keep in mind the big picture of how to sustain together our middle-income status through sustainable economic development. That will be the multi-party democracy that we are looking for.
You forgot my brothers and sisters.
Good. Then this one. Madam Speaker, this is the 2010 one. Madam Speaker, no government and certainly no political party can carry our nation forward on its own. Not everything is political. The challenges that we face are challenges to every Ghanaian, not just to one political group, and definitely not exclusively to the government of the day. When love of country supersedes personal ideology, only then Ghana can grow. May God bless us. May God bless us as we work together for our beloved nation and as we work towards building a better Ghana. I am still committed to building a better Ghana. I've always been committed to it. President was in 2008 when he was campaigning in Thelma, when I was the head of communications for the campaign team. He swung the campaign around, 4 pivots. Building, so the Better Ghana had 4 pivots. Building a strong and resilient economy, expanding infrastructure, creating jobs, and then governing in an open, honest, transparent manner and changing the face of governance. That's what he sought to do, change the face of governance. That one cannot be viewed in brick and mortar, but that's changing the psyche of the nation. And when you look at this CRC report, one of the major recommendations that came up is that
Koko, I'm sure that if I gave you an extra hour, you'd still be able to say
just quickly. This is from the CRC. Just for you to know that what I'm doing. And the CRC report came from the Republic of Ghana, Ghanaians.
So CRC is the Constitution
Review Commission. And I quote, government accepts the recommendation that the directive principles of the state policy should be amended to include a provision that enjoins governments to take measures to deal with the rising tide of politicization of every aspect of national life and ethnicity within the Ghanaian polity. Government also accepts the CRC recommendations for amendment of all the Political Parties Act to institute closed sessions for electioneering campaigns. So Thelma, this is not Kokwanyi who just talking about. The government agrees with the CRC on the need for the inculcation of national consciousness in the people and communities of Ghana, and therefore accepts the recommendation for a reformulation of the preamble of the Constitution to reflect the cultural legacy and values of the Ghanaian society.
But even in the larger Ghanaian society, one of the things that we are battling is indiscipline. You've said here that there's indiscipline in the NDC. In fact, your DP on Twitter is a quote from E.T. Mensah, a key figure in the NDC, about there being too much indiscipline in the NDC. All these things you're doing, there are some who also believe that you are also indisciplined. And so you cannot have the moral high ground to call other people indisciplined as well?
When Christ came with the gospel, the Pharisees and the Sadducees,
are you
comparing
yourself
to
Christ?
They did Christ to the cross. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, the most indisciplined people whom Christ tried to change, they led him to the cross. But at the end of the day, vindication lay in the womb of time. Christ resurrected. The gospel is still being preached.
So you believe vindication, time will vindicate you?
What I'm talking about.
Right. So many comments, and I'm just struggling to go through all of them. Imano Nate, you sent that comment again. You said, not watching GBC Breakfast Show is like going out without having your quiet time as a Christian. That's a good one. Thank you for sending that in to us.
I mean, to put things in perspective, I came with the constitution of the NDC and the constitution of the Republic of Ghana. I've spoken within the ambit of these two documents. How could that be misconstrued to mean indiscipline? I'm talking about discipline. So if some people are acting outside, as they say in law, ultra virus, I say no, let's go back within the law. And I've just told you that yesterday. They said some letter went out to the regions. People are panicking. For me, dum spiro spero. While I live, I hope. And I hope that this revolution will yield results.
Koko Anyido, while he lives, he hopes. Former Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, thank you so much.
Founder, CEO of the Atamos Institute.
And you're currently founder, CEO of the Atamos.
That is my title now.
So quickly, how do people support you? Because there are those who also believe you're doing a good job and they would like to hop on the train. 2 seconds before we
Well, we have an official ADB account. I don't think I have it here. But as of now, it's out of benevolence. People who really believe in the cause. Of course, my own little savings that I've made over the years. Because you see, Thelma, you must believe in something to be able to sow seeds of faith.
So people believe and they want to help. How do they contact you?
Well, my... of course, my number is...
We'll put that information on social media.
Yeah,
so that they
but my personal number is out there. I think you can get me on either 020-813...
Marketing will send you a bill for putting your
020-813-8705 or 0558-323-890.
Thank you.
And then we have all our social media handles, and it's a pleasure. I'm grateful that the state broadcasters...
And then we had more time.
Yeah, we'll work together. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing those thoughts with us. And thank you for sending us all those many comments. We are glad you stayed, because the art segment, you don't want to miss it. So, Valerie and the artist are seated.
So Valerie
and ready to serve you some light breakfast.
We beg you.
After this break, stay with us.
Thank you.
I've no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. Our love shall kill our profit.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
sports,
what of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Reliable Connect satellite. We didn't even have to buy a new decoder. We got our installer, give him the parameters, and connected.
You can now enjoy over 100 exciting channels in SD and HD quality across Africa and Europe.
For TV station owners, RCS offers the best package for your channels with wider viewership at a cheaper cost. Plus, your channels can be viewed in over 42 countries in Africa, Asia, and other parts of Europe. Projecting your pictures with dedicated 2.0 bandwidth for SD channels and 4.0 bandwidth for HD channels.
Baby, I'm not going back to that TV. You better call them now.
RCS, the future of satellite TV in Africa.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready? It's heat hot, and we are serving you breakfast. A la carte.
It's a brand new packaged breakfast served on GTV, our style, keeping you on track and updated on
news, making the headlines, how to navigate traffic,
what's up with the weather,
your health check, getting you up to speed on
lifestyle,
sports,
word of showbiz, what's hot and what's not.
It's our date in the morning just for you, with the team you can trust.
It's breakfast weekdays at 6 a.m.
Don't be late.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
And they call me UJ. Yeah, yeah. Well, we just back to the next level. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pampers, don't try to suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the body gonna do. We dey go straight to stardom. I'll take you to next level. Oh, baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. But baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level. Oh, baby, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't code next level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
She's really funny. I know, oh my god, I'm really enjoying this. Hello. Okay. Wow. Kojo, your TV is very clear. Not like the one we have at home, where displays are of low quality and channels keep going off.
This is the same TV we use. The same TV we use at home.
Oh, Kojo, you don't have to worry, okay? Our TV was equally terrible. Not until we discovered RCS. And tell them.
RCS. Reliable Connect Satellite. We didn't even have to buy a new decoder. We got our installer, give him the parameters, and connected.
You can now enjoy over 100 exciting channels in SD and HD quality across Africa and Europe. For TV station owners, RCS offers you the best package for your channels with wider viewership at a cheaper cost. Plus, your channels can be viewed in over 42 countries in Africa, Asia, and other parts of Europe. Projecting your pictures with dedicated 2.0 bandwidth for SD channels and 4.0 bandwidth for HD channels.
Baby, I'm not going back to that TV. You better call them now.
RCS, the future of satellite TV in Africa.
Okay, that's you there.
Hello to the warmer side. So after tea and Mr. Koku Anido have taken our tempers and shown us things, we're about to cool things down here on the warmer side of the breakfast table. I'm Valerie Dancer. So remember that this is brought to you courtesy Bet Boro, Awake Purified Water, Adonko Next Energy Level Drink, and then Shield Acrylic Paint. So my guest is Kizito Amate, the artist. He doubles as a pastor. So before we get to meet him and get talking, you do remember that maybe 2 years ago, when you're heading down to Accra Central from the 37 area, you realize that most of the walls and the pillars have been defaced with posters. And then in between, like last, we saw that the place had been painted with nice murals, nice colors, and amazing graffiti. So he was part of the team that did that. That was called the Accra Beautification Project. Welcome to the studios, Kizito. Second time chatting with you.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Okay, so since the last time we spoke, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago?
Yes, I think it was an exhibition coming up.
Right.
Yes.
Art has improved greatly in Ghana, and you guys are at the helm of the art projection in Ghana. What are your thoughts? How far has art risen since the last time we spoke?
I think that the kind of attention Ghana is gaining in terms of art and the recognition is amazing. Honestly, I was thinking that the development would have been slower, but the attention is quite massive. The year of return was one of such contributing factors.
Yes.
But apart from that, actually in the contemporary sense, we've had very great artists that emerged, and they are Ghanaians. I mean,
Yes.
the likes of Ibrahim Hama.
Yes.
He was my classmate. and all those guys. And honestly, Serge Atukwe and all those. And it tells us that within our practice, there are a lot of attentions that we are gaining. And the public also, you know, people
They're not appreciating us.
You know, the beautification project was a success because the people themselves were...
Oh, hold on, let's not talk about the beautification project yet.
Okay.
There's some painting in here, is on a couch, and if we're going to zoom into it, these are your paintings.
Yes.
Do you usually just work with, I see like flowers, but I see a woman's face, and for me, I think the difficulty with me is appreciating what the artist is trying to put across.
Okay.
So we're going to go to your paintings. While you're telling us about that, you're also going to surprise us with a surprise painting. You're going to do that while we are chatting. And by the end of our conversation, you have a full painting.
Exactly.
Can we have an idea what you're going to paint?
I like to explore the human figure.
Okay.
And so let's
It
look at
shows in those
something.
ones then.
Exactly.
All right, okay. So we'll have you there, and then we'll have our conversation here.
Sure.
So please go back to your set. Righties. Now let's talk the beautification project. Let me engage you whilst you surprise us.
Okay.
So how did it start? How was the team put together for the beautification project? How was it put together?
Actually, you know, it was under the auspices of the
Creative Arts Council.
Creative Arts Council.
Sure.
And you know, I'm part of the Ghana Association of Visual Artists. So what happened was that we were contacted, and then the project and idea began. But we didn't do it alone. We're doing it together with the other people, other artists who were also part of the project. Accra.org was part of it.
Yes.
But if you look at the sections, there are two sides to the whole intersection. We took one, and then Accra.org also took
the other part.
Yes.
Right.
So it was a bold step for me as a nation, because we've tried severally to engage the public and help them not to deface these very good areas. I realized that at a point we're even using the Ghana flag, such an honorable icon of a nation, and people still had the guts to
put it out there.
But I don't know what happened, and for me, that's the power of art.
Right.
As soon as the wall was painted,
you guys started painting.
in fact, I was all over. I heard a lot of things from the media. You guys did wonderful, and everybody was saying that please don't go and touch it. if we see you, we are going to pull you out from the place.
Well, yeah, that's Ghana. We are warming up to the idea. So these colors that you're using, Kizito.
Yes.
The base is black.
Exactly.
I'm trying to figure out what you're painting, but it's just at first I thought it was hair that was black, but then I realized that it's not even. It doesn't even look close to hair. It's just like you're putting stuff on there.
Exactly. So this style, actually, I'm painting the impasto style, and in the
impasto.
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 Impasto. Yes.
When you say that, what does it mean to those of us who?
Okay, so somewhere in the 17th century, you know, that was the Baroque period, and I mean some artists like Diego, Hans, and Van Gogh started using this part to depict like a wrinkled skins and then some ornament and all that.
Okay.
And then as people started enjoying the effect it gives, the textures.
Because the ink, for me, I think is pretty thick.
Exactly. So normally I pick it directly from my canvas, and then there you have it.
Right. So how long did it take for you to finish your side of the Accra beautification project? Your team, how long did it take you guys to finish it?
Okay, it took us a month. It took us a month from the site work itself.
Mm.
It took us a month, and you know.
And production-wise, pre-production, how did that go?
Okay, so I mean, from the conversations, I mean, it took several months. Let me say about 6 months down the line, trying to come up with a concept from artist drawings all the way to what exactly we wanted to do, and then of course something that also talk about the space that we were exploring. And for me as a mural artist, I'm very concerned about spaces, because what you put in a space has a long way to affect even the mood of the people and how people interact with the space. And you see, just from the time the mural came up, the space is no longer the same. There's something, the ambience is different, and every time you pass there, you'd see that something different has happened to that particular space. Yes.
Right. And now, when we talk about artist appreciation, we are now beginning to appreciate art. And then there's some people too who are taking it to the next level by inculcating art into the younger generation through their curriculum. What are artists doing? You just mentioned the visual artists, you have an association. What are you doing to sort of imbibe the creative arts thingy into our young generation, so that when they are coming up, they can appreciate art, and then maybe then we can get the needed revenue that is due the art sector?
I think that already art is doing a lot. We only have to pay attention to what is happening, not just in our part of the world, but internationally. And you see, until we get the narratives right and we start appreciating what we have, it may take us some time to even see the kind of golden opportunities as a nation we are now exploring. And for me, I think that artists themselves have done a lot. If you look at individual artists who have themselves, in a very good way, projected the art in providing a lot of sections for younger artists. Some have actually given younger artists opportunities to exhibit and even showcase their work in such wonderful spaces. You and I would say that already there have been a lot that artists are doing. I know some who are doing some ambassadorial work with art, visiting the schools and then even inspiring the young ones.
Let me hold that thought. Let me acknowledge our sponsors. We are doing this with Bedboro. We are doing this with Shield Acrylic Paint, with Purified Water, and Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. Back to you, Kizito.
All right. Yeah.
Now let's talk financing and then getting spaces to actually exhibit your work. A few artists I've spoken to have always fought for the fact that we need to get more spaces so that artists can explore their creative sides better. What are your thoughts on that? I see that we have a lot more galleries now.
Yes, but I think that for me, one of the things that would help us as a nation is to be able to recognize the contribution of art in a way that makes us document what has transpired in the past, so that we can have a good information about the contribution of art so far. And I always would say that, I mean, the nation has done well for the creative art industry in terms of providing the theaters and all that, but we still need a national art gallery that can collect our national collections so that we can still keep that history and narrative of art ongoing. So we actually need a place. I mean, it's been the Center for National Culture for a longer period of time, and I think at a point the boys came in to support with space. But I think that we need a national gallery.
Okay, so you've gotten to, what's the percentage of your painting now? I'm very curious.
Oh, okay. So I think 50%.
I'm hoping that we're still sharing the hashtag GTV breakfast. So if you're watching us, you can send your views and probably guess what Kizito is trying to make. Kizito, did art come to you naturally, or you went to school for it? It's a hobby.
Oh.
How did you come by being an artist?
For me, growing up as a child, I realized that I had this creative abilities with my artistic creations. I realized that I was always doing my own toys as a little kid. I mean, from paper curtains up to using, let's say, toothpaste covers and all that. And I realized that I had a lot of interest in creating things out of nothing. And that also informed the way I even work now.
You are a mixed bag of everything. So you are an artist, you're a lecturer, you are a creative arts consultant, and then you're a pastor with the Mana Mission Church. So I'm safe to call you Reverend Amate.
Yes, you can do that.
Right, so how do you juggle all these professions?
I think all things start at a go. Honestly, there are some of the things that I am today that I didn't see coming. But growing up, I loved God. I always wanted to have that communion and fellowship with Christians. My mom was a staunch believer, and so she was the one that inspired me a lot. But I didn't even start off with my education in art. What happened was that I went to Adesado College as a business student.
Sure.
And that's what my dad wanted me to do. And after a long talk, he was not budging. He said, "That's what I want you to do." So what I did was that one time I went to my assistant headmaster for academics and told him if I could have my course changed. At the time, I had not told my mom, I had not told my dad. I just wanted that change. It was so important to me. I couldn't see myself enjoying whatever I was doing, and I was very eager to come up with something that was really me. He agreed, convinced my mom, and that was one of the things that I'll always be grateful for Mr. Manfo for such thoughtfulness. And when it happened, I changed my course, became a visual art student. Then I went on to do my degree in fine art.
Sure.
In KN University. Then after I came back to Legon to do MA in business management. So
you've done a lot. How do your congregants see you?
Oh, I think they think I'm versatile and easygoing. I think that's the general notion. Some of them didn't know this side. It took them a while. Perhaps myself, I was also trying to give them exactly what I wanted them to know at a point. But now, I think that a lot more of them know me to be doing some of these things that we are seeing today.
Right, Kizito, the Creative Art Council is doing something amazing by trying to push the artists out there. That's one sector. Now, what structures, because you are an in-house person and you know what's going on in there, what structures would you guys want to see changed so that we can better push the creative arts? Before you answer that, I'm going back to the people who made this possible: Bedboro Shield Acrylic Paint, Awake Purified Water, and Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. So what are some of the structures, Kizito, that you would want to see changed?
Structures in terms of, if I can get your...
Structures in the creative arts industry, for artists, for all creative persons.
For me, I think that we should be able to understand the practice. You see, one of the ways I would also say that we have shown that we need
Someone on Facebook says that you are drawing... It says art is truly life, Kizito. It says you are drawing a robot car. I wonder what that is, but yes.
Oh, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes.
So back to our structures. What we want to see changed?
Yes, so I was saying that I think that so far we need to get to understand the art space as a nation. And by saying that, I mean that, you know, we keep changing even the name of our sector ministry.
Yes.
From government to government. It's an indication that we are still trying to understand the space. And that's why it moves from maybe Ministry of Tourism and Chieftaincy, sometimes creative art, sometimes...
Keep shifting all the
time. Exactly. Yeah. So for me, I'll be happy for us to define that space one. Well, yes, and then also give artists more opportunities.
Right. Another one. You see how we do music collabos where two artists come together and make amazing music? Does it ever happen in the creative arts world where we have two artists coming on one, what do you call that?
One canvas?
Yes. Do you have two artists coming on to work on
Oh, sometimes even more than that. Let me surprise you. You know, we did, we had the collaboration with the AMA.
Sure.
And every time we've had that collaborations, we've worked on very huge canvases. We did the Accra's biggest canvas somewhere last 2 years, and we had a lot of artists coming together and working on one space.
Abigail Quay says that always an amazing time listening to Reverend Kizito Amate. Art is truly life. And then Anna Mensa is saying she wants to know the price for a living room. You did not clarify if you wanted to make a painting or paint your whole living room. So let's speak prices. For instance, Kizito, the art we have on here, the two finished ones on display, what's the highest you sold an art painting for?
Oh, the highest I've sold a painting for was, can I give a range?
Yes, give a range so you're safe.
Okay, so it was between, it was a couple of them, different pieces, but one piece was between $8,000 to $12,000.
Dollars? So how often do you get people commissioning you for artwork?
Very often. For me, that has been my amazing story. There are projects I'm even working on currently. What I do is that I allow my work to interact.
Right.
And so every now and then I have commissions ongoing. I've worked for quite a number of people.
Yeah, like cool.
I've worked for lawyer Bobby Banton. I've worked in the space of the Ghana Police, the social center. I'm the artist that designed the poolside.
Okay.
So all the paintings there were my works. Yeah.
So you can join the conversation, look at what we are doing, follow us on Facebook at GBC Ghana, Instagram at GBC Online, and Twitter and YouTube. Our handles at the GBC Ghana. We have Kizito Amate, the artist, in studio. And we're trying to figure out what he's painting. I just see lots of colors. I see purple, I see blue, black. So you still not give us a clue you're painting?
No, I think we have to find out. That's the surprises that comes with artists and artworks. And sometimes we just have to keep the conversations going until we hit the jackpot.
Amen. So Kapui doubles as a he's a lecturer. He teaches art.
Yes, I teach journalism and the arts. Wow. So this is something that my students will be watching. Wow. Definitely. I
Kizito, tell us how social media has helped shape your brand. You have to concentrate. I'm sorry, my producer keeps
Okay.
I'm sorry I keep talking too much, but please speak. We really want to know.
I should speak now.
Yep.
Yes. So
speak
social media, how has it helped?
How has social media shaped your career?
Can I be very honest?
Yes.
Truthfully, every major every major art breakthrough came from social media.
Oh wow.
Interestingly, I took my site down because I didn't like how it was being managed.
Okay.
And then I took the pains to manage my own social media account. And I'm telling you that my current big project, I'm not able to say.
There's a lady on Facebook, Belinda Fair, who says that he's painting Bob Marley. Someone says, I think you're painting a lion. Well, I think so.
I think
like
it's upside down, to be honest. Because I'm doing this. that's my reaction to most paintings. I go like, okay, am I seeing this from the right angle?
But if the painting is upside down, how do you do that? Is it like a talent?
Exactly. So that's just what wows the people sometimes, because the understanding is that the artist should be able to your imaginative skills should communicate with every part of you. And so I'm flipping the painting.
You need to finish.
Yes, I'm flipping the painting in my mind. And so I'm able to see.
Wow.
Like
so Jephthah says that you're painting Bob Marley.
Okay, Bob Marley has two votes.
Yes. Caroline is watching.
Yes, she says you are watching. Caroline here. We are watching. Carry Owusu Asamoah.
Abigail Quay says that it looks like you're drawing a man figure upside down. Well, a lot of people are coming up with the upside down theories.
Yes, and I get the prize. I said it first.
Danje.
It turns out that that's what it is.
Danje says he's painting you, which is probably you, or maybe it's Dansu.
Maybe it's the hair.
Sanchez.
But then
no, that's
you have yellow on your eyes.
When he started with the black, I thought for certain that he was like that was hair on top.
I thought it was a lion actually.
Danje
when he started with all the hair.
Danje is convinced that it is you.
Now I'm totally confused.
Yes.
All right. Hey. So how long have you been painting?
Okay, so professionally, I'd say 10 years now.
Okay. All right.
But all in all, it's been 18 years.
Okay, nice. So what's your hashtag?
Saint Kizito Gallery.
Saint Kizito.
So Saint Kizito is my hashtag.
On Facebook.
All right. Saint Kizito.
Yeah. Is it very expensive getting material to paint in Ghana, and is it easy to come by?
Not easy
you
to come by.
still have to paint while you speak. Sorry.
not easy
you still have to paint.
Not easy to come by, honestly.
Are they sourced locally?
Yes, some of them. We have some very good. So far, we have some very good places that we are able to source them.
Ellie says you're painting an African woman upside down.
Okay. More votes. Still, Bob Marley is still leading with 2.
In terms of percentage, where are we now? 95.
Oh yes, 95.
Okay, all right.
Making progress.
I can even turn it now.
See, there's somebody on Facebook who says, Thelma, Emmanuel Nate. Oh, Emmanuel. Thelma, okay. You chocolate, okay? Okay, so kudos to the team. That's not watching GBC breakfast show is like it's like, you know, going out without having your quiet time as a Christian.
Yeah.
Okay, Emmanuel.
I said that a bit earlier on, yes.
Kizo, what's up? So, are you done?
No, speaking to
almost.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
All right.
Do you do lessons for people who want to
Oh, yes, I do. I do even lessons for people who have never touched brush.
I've never touched it.
And I can let you paint in one day.
I don't think you would want me on that.
Oh, I'm telling you, I can let you. I can make you a painter in one day.
Oh, wow.
Maybe we'll come for lessons. Look, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler.
Trust me.
Are you sure you're not biting off more than
a lady, one of our Pobi, he says he's painting a Rasta man. Casey, good morning. This is Ruki. I'm sure you know her, so she's watching you. Oh,
the man says this he can make a painter in one day.
Make me a painter. I can't.
Danje has missed you.
Make you a painter in one day.
Okay, someone says they now sing there's an earring. A woman wearing an earring is in there.
Okay. so many comments coming. I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop, and then we can just okay.
See, Dan Jay says it could be tacky.
Should we do a countdown for you to 10 and say?
Yes.
Okay, so 10.
So when you are done.
No. Once we come on, we can do the countdown.
Yeah, we are on.
Okay, we are on. So give us.
We haven't done.
That's amazing.
We were talking.
But that makes it natural.
Yes.
Because that was my very natural self.
Yes.
How many minutes will you be done? So we count. We want to count.
10 seconds is fine.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Can we start? Can we?
You can start counting now.
Yeah, let's do it.
So 10.
Let's do it.
9,
8, 7. How do you say 6 in Ghana?
Enumo.
4.
Edre.
3.
Ete.
2 in ever.
Ever.
And 1 in ever.
Deka
is 1 and 0 in Ghana.
Is there a word
for
that?
Of course, there's a word for 0 in Ghana.
Okay, Emuna, we are done. Yay! Okay, are we allowed to go there?
Yes,
are we allowed? Oh, I have to pack all my things. I'm done with this one.
It is a woman.
Yeah, that's a woman.
It's a woman, so she was right with the earring. Someone says it's painting Auntie Dede. Who is Auntie Dede? You talk about Auntie Dede.
That's a big hoop.
It is a woman.
So
yeah, it is.
Big.
I think from here, from this angle is better.
Oh, wow! Check this out.
Go back.
So it's
not me, but it's like, what's her hairstyle? She's a Rastafarian.
Like an afro.
Okay.
It's a woman.
It's a woman. That's an earring.
So that's like an abstract. Is it abstract?
Yeah, that's abstract.
But is that an afro though? That's like Valerie's hair.
Oh well, maybe I'm inspired.
No, I think this is a halo. Let's it's a woman wearing just a halo.
Yeah.
You need to stand by your art here and face the world.
Okay.
Oh, Charles Anayakumi says he loves the painting because it reminds him of Ablade Glover using the palette knife to paint.
Nice.
Is he one of the people who inspires you?
Yes, of course. I mean,
someone says you were a spiritual leader in KNUST.
Yes. I was the president of Campus Christian Family.
Now I want to ask you, so what happens with this painting?
It's for the studio.
Can you put an autograph there so we can keep it right there?
I'll do that.
It's over decorated. We want to put it in the hard area.
Oh, yeah, fine.
As a donation from your gallery.
Yes, please. Yes.
That'll be good. Maybe I can just touch it up with some red and white.
Oh, yes, please.
Man has vision.
Thank you, Kizito.
What's your final message as we wrap up?
I think that these are some of the opportunities we really crave for, and we want to thank GTV Breakfast for inviting me. And finally, I'll say that the inspirations we get is also from our interactions and engagement with the public. So please engage us. We love it. On IG is Saint Kizito _ gallery.
Full Saint or SD?
Full Saint.
Okay.
And Saint Kizito one word. And Facebook is Saint Kizito Art Gallery.
Awesome.
Yes, and those are the two handles I am frequently on. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And obviously, like yes.
Hashtag also for artists. Hashtag Saint Kizito.
Also for the painter.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
You've learned how to brush your teeth well. You've learned that your kids need to go do coding during the vacation. Okay, you are up to date with all the current affairs and the headlines. You know what President Atamil's legacy is, courtesy of T and her fantastic interview. And now courtesy of Val and her interview, you know that, Charlie, we have wicked painters in Ghana. All you don't know is the proverb for the day.
Right, yes.
By the time the fool has learned the game, the players have dispersed. By the time the fool has learned the game, the players have long gone. We're also long gone.
Yes,
so thank you so much.
I will be back tomorrow.
Same time.
God willing.
Remember to follow our hashtag GTV Breakfast on all our social media handles.
Indeed.
We'll see you again tomorrow morning, God willing, 6 a.m.
All right, ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is
na eba no say no don't queen na me dinyi edruboni na me nuana anase me nkoshe konfu se obi do wan ya ine ukikano na mintio ame titire bi do ulimse if you only power odaseno Musuna meti odase Afe enase akikimia Afe na uko Doi Wallahi talai Kwa ajiona Yamfano kwa ibo Sema fungu akachirebi o Namimpa uche unanesa ejayo
African movie